exclusively on WTSF TV 61, the station that makes a difference.
In Lexington, Kentucky, Mike Todd and George Conley talk with Joe B. Hall and the 1983-84 Kentucky Wildcats. Tonight's exclusive edition of Sports Wrap is advertising committed to the betterment of youth in the tri-state area. And Computer.com, business computers, downtown cleaners. Let us take care of the clothes you wear. Our trip's old-fashioned road is home of delicious fresh fruit and vegetables and basement waterproofs, dedicated quality in basement waterproofing. Now, here's Mike Todd and George Conley from Rupp in Lexington, Kentucky.
He can't get off
George, we finally made it, buddy.
Oh, Mike, hey, this is a dream come true of all people who like to stand and watch you can Wildcats at practice.
There's any doubt about it. There's a lot of people like sitting right here, standing right us. We're right here at Rupp Wildcats to go here ourselves ring rides. Motivation
of being in a program that has the tradition that Kentucky has is a coaching aid, and I appreciate it.
And you welcome this opportunity. I know it, Joe, because it's certainly rich tradition and handed down by people who have been here before and passed on to people who inherit it. Every kid who bounces that basketball wishes he could be here to play for this man. Mike, I think tradition is going to be carried on.
I think it will be, and speaking just like you did when I was a young man back when 10 or 11 years old, listening to Adolph and the Cats run up and down this floor. There was an announcer by the name of Claude Sullivan. I'm sure you remember him.
Right, and Mike, I was just like you. I listened to Kentucky games when I was a young man and kept a scrap on Kentucky.
Exactly that.
And I know what basketball means to the people of this state. And that puts a little extra pressure on me, but I certainly appreciate the position I'm in.
You know, I think for any fan that it might be, whether it's from Paducah all the way to Ashland, if you come in here on any given night, you can sit here and watch 23,000 rabid fans go nuts. And I've had a chance to sit here, and it's your heart begins to beat fast when they come out. The band, starts up, and it's a holiday.
Well, Joe, as you gave us this time to come in here, and Mike, this is true anywhere you say, but it's a little cloudy and misty outside. But let me tell you, when you walk inside Rupp Arena and things start happening, it turns blue and white, doesn't it?
It sure does. There's electricity in here on game night that makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, George. And as a coach, when you come out on the floor, and I'm sure this is true of the players, and it was true of Coach Rupp and Harry Lancaster when they were coaching, that the hair stands up on the back of your neck when you come out representing Kentucky. And I think that makes us play a little better, and I hope that all our players are always conscious of that pressure and feel the excitement, the electricity when they come in here to Rupp Arena on game night.
Well, Joe, it has to be a motivating factor. There's no question about this. Now, before we go for one break and ask you to stay with us just a little bit, I'd like to ask you this one question. In 1978, there was no if and. It was an ultimatum. Joe Hall, you will win the NCAA championship. You had to. Now, everyone was just handing this down, Joe. This is a must. You had to do that. Now, do you feel that type of thing emerging this year with the return of Sam Bowie?
Well, George, I really don't care.
Well, great.
I don't. The expectations are high, and I hear people say, you're not going to lose a game this year, and I understand all that. I've been in the business a long time, and I understand fans, and even though they say that, they're on your side and they're supporting you. They may be disappointed, but they're not disappointed for long.
No.
And with a great group like we've got at the university this year, fine young men, they're going to represent not only the state of Kentucky and the university, but they're going to represent themselves well this year. And I feel like that it can't be a bad season. It's going to be a successful season regardless what's happened because of the people that are involved.
Joe, let's take this one little break for a moment, if we may, please, and come back, and we hope you'll stay with us for just a few more questions. Thank you, sir.
Hi, this is my friend, the Epson QX10. Why do I call it my friend? Because it's probably one of the most user-friendly computers on the market today. For instance, if you want to draw a graph, all you do is press a button. The Epson QX10 is just one of the many ways we at Computer Datacom Systems can help you solve your problems. Call us at 329-1536 or come by and see us at 1200 Bath Avenue in Ashland.
When you need quality dry cleaning fast, come to Downtown Cleaners in Ashland. Downtown Cleaners offers service with your clothes in by 10:30, ready for you by 5 every weekday. Drapery cleaning is a specialty at Downtown Cleaners, with hem length and perfect pleats guaranteed. For deluxe shirt service and courteous personnel, try Downtown Cleaners, with locations at 3213th Street in Ashland and next to the Food Land in Summit. Downtown Cleaners, let us take care of your clothes you wear.
What a mess. Well, you'll probably waste an entire day cleaning up your basement. Are you tired of mopping up water every time it rains? Well, your water leaking problems are over. Basement Waterproofers of Ashland has an experienced staff ready to tackle any job. We do our own work and insure each job with the waterproofing industry's only money-back guarantee. So you know you can depend on us. And most jobs can be completed in 3 days. Call us day or night for a free estimate. At Basement Waterproofers, we're dedicated to quality in basement waterproofing.
UK Wildcat Sports on radio. Catch every exciting Big Blue game on WLGC at 105.5 FM. WLGC carries each Wildcat game with never a delay, never a game preempted. UK fans know that they can tune 105.5 FM for Kaywood Ledford and all the play-by-play action live. At WLGC, we're true blue to Big Blue. Join us for UK Sports on WLGC Super Sports.
A few moments ago here at Rupp Arena, we were talking about the great rich tradition that UK has had over the last several years. But 1983-84 brings a great expectation of great things to come. It brings back the thoughts of 1970 when the UK Wildcats went on to the national championship. And to talk about things about, well, December, January, February, and of course March. We're going to talk to Coach Hall here in one moment, but Coach, you've already called another technical foul on George while we were away. He's only got one left.
Well, he's called enough on me. I think it's about time, Mike.
He's only got one left, then he's gone. George, I'm sure you're got a lot to talk about the 1983-84 Cats.
But with the graciously consented time that Joe has given us here, Joe, for the umpteenth thousand time, and your fans all want to know back home in northeastern Kentucky, the status of one Sam Bowie.
Well, Sam George is still a question mark, and he's been out for 2 years with that fractured shin, and he has a lot of atrophy in his leg, his being away from the game, just his execution, his timing. So many things have to be worked out this coming season, and we all want Sam to have a great year. We want to see him achieve what he's capable of achieving, what he was capable of achieving before his injury. And that's very important to us, and we're all pulling for him. He's coming along, he's working hard, but he hurts every day in practice. I mean, it's a lot of pain, not in the leg, but just the physical part of getting his cardiovascular system back in condition. And then when he gets in the scrimmage itself, he has the problem of execution, of the touch, the timing of his passes, recognizing his opportunities, and all of those things are very strange to him.
The things, Joe, that our fans are going to have to realize, I'm talking about now 100% stop, start, cut, go. Those are the things that he really is going to have problems with.
That's right, and if he's back 80%, George, if Sam's back 80% by the 1st of December, we'll be extremely happy, and he's a long way from that right now. But as you can see, he's working very hard, and he's pushing himself every day in practice. They've been very tough on him. I tell you, he hits that bed early at night.
Oh, I bet he does. Joe, Dickie Beal.
Dickie is in a similar situation, although Dickie's a little more predictable because he hasn't been out that long. But he had 3 arthroscopic knee surgeries this summer, the last one August the 29th, and he's not fully rehabilitated, although he's able to work some in practice. He'll work 2 or 3 days, and then he has to take off a couple to let his physical part catch up with him and get over a little swelling and tenderness that he develops in his knee. But his progress has been so good the last 2 weeks that we're very encouraged.
Brett Barrett's bout with hepatitis.
Well, Brett had hepatitis, which is a virus, not really hepatitis, he had mononucleosis, which is a virus, and his recovery is very much like it would be if you had a real bad bout with a flu that would put you down for the length of time he was down. He missed all the conditioning program, which was about 5 weeks, and started back very lightly when we began practices, but he's coming along very quick, but he missed that 5 weeks conditioning, which is going to definitely put him behind for several weeks.
Well, Joe, like yourself, I do travel the state quite a bit, as you know, and I see these people. They ask a lot of questions. They know I visit with you, and I visited the other day. And I think you and I kind of agreed on this one situation. It's a matter of numbers getting down with you now.
Well, that's true. We don't want to get any lower than we are. We won't be able to scrimmage. But we've had that in the past, and a squad is allowed 15 players on scholarship, George, and we're down to 12, which is really a good number to work with. I think that makes for a happy squad. It makes for a squad that they all feel that they contribute, and I like that number very well until we get several injured or ill, and then it really messes up your practices and gets to the point to where you can't work effectively. And we're a little bit that way right now. We're having to gear our practices to our players that are not in condition, but we're doing a lot of teaching right now, and maybe that'll pay off for us in March.
And Joe, the long run proves out, whether it be high school, college, or pro level, that the team that stays healthy is generally the team that gets the percentage win.
Well, it means so much to you to be healthy, George, and we felt that last year when we did lose Dickie Beal late in the season, when Kenny Walker injured his back before the tournaments and Derek Howard had a turned ankle. We certainly felt the results of their absence, and that's not crime, because that was just fact that we had those injuries, and it means a lot to you to be healthy throughout the whole season. Every game's important to us, and the Southeastern Conference is important to us. Our traditional rivals are important to us. We'll be on television a lot this year, and those games are going to be important to our image, to our future recruiting, future success of the program. So we want to be our best every game, and that's hard to do down through the season.
Well, Joe, in talking about these numbers, we come up with the idea that you're going to be signing quite a few recruits this next year. Basically, what are you going to be looking for?
We have 8 scholarships that'll be available for next year, George, and we're looking basically for everything. We lose 3 inside players. We lose 2 guards. So you can see that a lot of height is going to be gone with Bowie and Turpin and the heights, and we're going to try to replace that. And guards are a priority also. So we just need everything at every position.
Joe, I would take this time. He's just a junior, but I understand there is some excitement about a young man up in our area that you might be interested in.
Well, Mike Scott is who you're speaking of,
yes.
Of course, George, and we really are a little bit hog-tied as to talking about recruits by NCAA. Yeah, but we're interested in the good kids in the state of Kentucky first, and we're going to try to recruit all of those good ones in the state that we can. And there are some real good ones coming up.
Mike, I'm sure you have one you'd like to ask.
George, I've got a question I'd like to ask Coach Hall, because I've watched the UK games on TV, and I know how you feel. You can't get out of the coach's box. And if they did away with it this year, you just drove you nuts having to sit there, and you couldn't come out. If you did, it was a technical foul. I know the officials were a little bit lenient with you. You may have came over about an inch or two a couple of times. They didn't call any foul. But is it going to be back here in 83, 84? And if it is, what are you going to do about it?
We're going to have the coaching box again this year, Mike, as you probably heard. And I think what I'm going to do, I've thought about it a lot, and I think I'm going to erect a little white picket fence with a swinging gate and some morning glories growing up it, and that'll keep me inside the box. It's a situation that really hasn't caused me that much trouble. I think the officials have been a little more lenient with you in what you say, because they know you're going to get out. They're going to get out of earshot in a few minutes by you being confined to that box. So it's not all bad, and anything that helps the officials to do a better job and keeps the coaches a little quieter is good for the game. So I'm satisfied, and we'll make the best of it.
Coach, one more question. I know you're busy and you like to get back to practice here. The 45-second clock, is it back for 83, 84, and what do you feel about that?
We have the 45-second clock again this year, but it has changed somewhat in that the last 4 minutes the clock will be taken off, and we'll play under regular timing rules, which will include the 5-second held ball count. And a little confusion right there as far as the players go and your coaching of the players, but I think it's going to be a good rule, and certainly one that we can work with. There will be another rule this year that all fouls the last 2 minutes of a game are 2-shot fouls. There's no such thing as an intentional foul. They're all 2-shot fouls in the last 2 minutes. And that's a rule I think takes the pressure off the officials and is a good rule.
Coach, on behalf of TV 61 and George and all, we'd like to thank you for taking your time out of your busy practice to talk with us here. And I know in a couple of nights here you'll be out at Summit Junior High, and the blue and white will be there, and we're looking forward to seeing you there.
We're looking forward to come out there, and And I just wonder if there's any chance that since we're going to be up in the Ashland area, that we could pick up a guy by the name of Larry Conley to help us out.
I think we could. If we could talk to this guy before he gets another technical, we better give him something.
Well, Joe, it's my pleasure always, partner, to be with you, and you know that. And I wish you the best. My best to Catherine and the kids. It's always good to talk with you, and we wish the Big Blue the best of control all through the season.
Well, George, I want to tell you, I really like you a lot more with a coat on than with that striped shirt. And I look forward to seeing you all up to Ashland. Hope we have a good crowd, and I know that the players are anxious, and they're going to give a good show.
Could I give you one last shot before you leave?
Yes, sir.
If you started a team tonight, who would you start?
Well, because of our injuries, George, and that's the only way I could answer that, it would be Turpin and Walker and probably Bennett, and it would be, I would guess, Harden at guard and Master at guard.
Now, this is going to surprise a lot of fans, and we're going to talk to some of your players with your consent, Joe, after practice. So thank you again, and we'll see you along the line.
Okay, George. Thank you.
At Area Advertising, our customer comes first. Area Advertising specializes in all types of silk screening on sports apparel, such as jackets, shirts, hats, and much more. We can arrange for safety group and incentive awards. Also, we have plenty of ad specialties such as pins, keychains, or whatever your special needs are. If it can be printed, Area Advertising can get it done. Come by today at Area Advertising on Winchester Avenue, Ashland.
Hello folks, my name's Dave Artrip. This is my wife Rebecca. We're down here at our market. That's Artrip's Old Fashioned Produce on US 23. Look what we got here for you. Super fresh apples. I know, I went to the orchard and got them myself. For the best taste in town,
come on down. Come right on in and make yourself at home because we believe in good old-fashioned hospitality. That's Artrip's Old Fashioned Produce on US 23.
For a full selection of fruits and vegetables fresh daily and year-round service, there's only one place to go. Artrip's Produce, US 23, Ashland.
UK Wildcat Sports on radio. Catch every exciting Big Blue game on WLGC at 105.5 FM. WLGC carries each Wildcat game with never a delay, never a game preempted. UK fans know that they can tune 105.5 FM for Kaywood Ledford and all the play-by-play action live. At WLGC, we're true blue to Big Blue. Join us for UK Sports on WLGC Super Sports.
What a mess. Why, you'll probably waste an entire day cleaning up your basement. Are you tired of mopping up water every time it rains? Well, your water leaking problems are over. Basement Waterproofers of Ashland has an experienced staff ready to tackle any job. We do our own work and insure each job with the waterproofing industry's only money-back guarantee. So you know you can depend on us. And most jobs can be completed in 3 days. Call us day or night for a free estimate. At Basement Waterproofers, we're dedicated to quality in basement waterproofing.
Well, as we promised, we're here at Rupp Arena. If you ever felt like a rose between two thorns or whatever, you're looking at a 5'9" man standing against two 7-footers. And I'll tell you what, it's another world up there, I guess. And Sam Bowie, of course, you've had yourself kind of a disappointing last couple of years, I know, sitting on the sidelines over here during the UK ball game, watching with all the hope that your leg would get better. I think you might be well right now, Sam, to tell the fans exactly how is your leg and what's the prognosis?
Well, my rehabilitation has been on schedule. I've been working extremely hard to get the leg back up to power. But I don't think there's any additional pressure that I have to put on myself with some cast that I'll be surrounded with this year. I think that my personnel that I'm surrounded with will pretty much take up all that pressure. So I'm just looking forward to contributing this year in any way possible.
I think one thing I'd like to ask you about, I watched Ralph Sampson play last year, about every game he played, every time he was on national TV, and I know that you probably did too. Would you have liked to have played against Ralph Sampson?
Well, I don't think anyone in the country likes to go up against a guy like Ralph Sampson. He's a superior player, and anytime you get to go against a guy like that, you're definitely going to have to lace your sneakers up extra tight. So for me to stand here and say, yes, I would love to go against Ralph, I think you can get that commitment from anybody in the country.
That's exactly true. Well, I know the 1983-84 season is just around the corner for you, and I know the excitement is the middle word for you. And it's good to be back and good to have you back. And George, I know before the big boy gets away, you've got something to say.
Well, I was just going to tell our fans now, you saw a clip back not long ago with Coach Hall and this guy out fishing. Now, don't ask him about his fishing because he caught nothing. All right, thank you, Sam, for being with us. We appreciate it. The time is well taken.
Thank you.
And I know that you're looking to be the leader with this guy next to me.
Right.
And for you fans who may not recognize this, if ever there is a Cy Young Award given in basketball, Sam, and I think you'll agree with me on that this is the recipient from last year, right?
Without a doubt.
Melvin Turpin. And let me tell you, Big Mel, it's good to see you again and see you getting down in shape without the big max in the front.
Well, you know, I took it a lot seriously, you know, getting back when we first had a scrimmage in Moy Coliseum. I went to Sam and a lot of players and stuff, and I realized that I got to get down one way or another. And so far, I've lost about 17, 18 pounds. I'm about 245 now. Got 5 more pounds to get down, so I really think I can move where I want to be moving.
Well, Sam was moving out to the outside a little bit. Is this guy banging you any in the middle?
Well, I think the toughest competition I have all year long will be the guy right next to me, which is Melvin Turpin, because a lot of times I've seen all the publicity that Keith Lee and Patrick Ewing and Ralph Sampson was getting last year, and I'm saying to myself, we got the force right here in Kentucky, and he's not getting his due. So I think people will really see a new Melvin Turpin this year, being that this is his senior year, and he's looking forward to playing professional ball.
Don't you agree wholeheartedly with me on the Cy Young Award, though? If there was one in basketball, Melvin Turpin deserved it, because in all honesty, Mel, I think you improved more in last year's standing than any player I saw in the country.
Oh, thank you.
All right, fans, these are the tall ones. As we get the cranks out of our neck, let's bring on a couple of more here and take this break right now.
Hardware, software. There are places that will sell you one or both. At Computer Datacom Systems, we consider these tools to help you solve your overall problems. But at CDS, we use one other tool, people, consultants, systems analysts, and programmers to help you with installation, training, and any problems that might arise. If you're considering a new system or even upgrading or expanding your present system, call us. We're Computer Datacom Systems. We solve problems.
When you need quality dry cleaning fast, come to Downtown Cleaners in Ashland. Downtown Cleaners offers sudden service with your clothes in by 10:30, ready for you by 5 every weekday. Drapery cleaning is a specialty at Downtown Cleaners, with hem length and perfect pleats guaranteed. For deluxe shirt service and courteous personnel, try Downtown Cleaners, with locations at 332 13th Street in Ashland and next to the Foodland in Summit. Downtown Cleaners, let us take care of your clothes you wear.
Hello, folks. My name's Dave R-Trip. This is my wife, Rebecca. We're down here at our market. That's R-Trip's Old-Fashioned Produce on US 23. Look what we got here for you. Super fresh apples. I know, I went to the orchard and got them myself. For the best taste in town,
Come on down. Come right on in and make yourself at home, because we believe in good old-fashioned hospitality. That's R-Trip's Old-Fashioned Produce on US 23.
For a full selection of fruits and vegetables fresh daily and year-round service, there's only one place to go. R-Trip's Produce, US 23, Ashland.
At Area Advertising, our customer comes first. Area Advertising specializes in all types of silk screening on sports apparel, such as jackets, shirts, hats, and much more. We can arrange for safety group and incentive awards. Also, we have plenty of ad specialties such as pins, keychains, or whatever your special needs are. If it can be printed, Area Advertising can get it done. Come by today at Area Advertising on Winchester Avenue, Ashland.
Okay, back here at Rupp Arena again, we've ordered a couple of more Wildcats, and these are more my size. The big guys have gone, and we get down to Dickie Beal here, who's 5'11", and of course this guy here is still way up there at 6'5", and we're talking about Jim Master and Dickie Beal. Dickie, we'll talk to you in a few moments, and of course, like Sam, he's coming off of an injury, and so are you, and I know the concern of the people around the Commonwealth is that you get well, and so on and so forth. Let's tell the fans, first of all, how is Dickie Beal in his leg?
Well, right now I'm feeling pretty good. the main thing with my problem is that the knee's fine now. I just got to get a lot of confidence in it, and I got to get a little strength in it. But other than that, everything's looking real well, and I'm progressing pretty good.
Do you feel now through the time that you've watched the Wildcats practice? I know I noticed here at practice a few moments ago you were jogging around the floor and not participating as you would full strength. Do you feel that this year's 83-84 Wildcats are going to be the contender that they're supposed to be?
Well, we got a lot of good personnel, and we just got to put it all together. And if we can do those things and just, stay together as a family on and off the floor, then we ought to be a pretty good team to play against.
What is Dickie Beal's role going to be with the 83-84 Cats?
Well, just like always, just trying to set up those big guys, trying to hit Jim with the jumper, and just trying to spark us in any way that I can.
I'm sure of that.
Mike, let's ask Dickie Beal and our fans in Ashland if they remember each other. Do you remember a Covington High and an Ashland High Tomcat basketball game in the state tournament, Dick?
I'll never forget it. It was a triple overtime game, and their coached a beautiful game. He knew that we ran off the free throws. They never missed a free throw all night, and every time they shot one and made it, they had a man coming in off the bench, and that stopped our break, and it really, really hurt us. But Ashland's always been
let
tough.
me say this. Dickie Beal has written his records in the state tournament high schools down here, and this boy did his own writing in the Indiana circle. So we like to welcome you into the WTSF microphone and the film here that we're making, Jim. We're looking forward to see your activity up at the Ashland Boyd County Gym for a big scrimmage November 10th.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Conley. We're looking forward to it, too, because we like to go out and play these scrimmages. It gets us acquainted with the other players on our team and gets us sort of adapted to the situations we're going to have to face during a real game. So we look forward to these games to try to prepare us for the real thing.
Well, what's Jim Master looking forward to in his senior year as a Wildcat going out?
Well, your last year, you'd always like to make your best year, so the only thing on my mind right now is just trying to do the best we possibly can. And last year, we had a great taste of going to the Final 8 and almost getting to the Final 4, coming just a couple points short. So this year,
overtime away, Jim.
Right. So really actually one shot away. So this year, we're just hoping that we can just improve on that. And the ultimate, I think, for any team would be getting to the Final 4, and that's what our dream is.
Jim, I think I can say this in all confidence that I understand what I'm saying, and I just said it to Coach Hall a while ago. People in Kentucky are a little funny sometimes. They don't recognize that a 20-game win season is a good season. They don't realize that a Southeastern Conference championship is a great season. But what do they want?
Well, I think they want us to win them all. And I think in the back of our mind, everybody tries to be optimistic, and we feel we can win any game on our schedule. But we know too that you run into a lot of tough competition, and there's a few teams on our schedule that probably think they can win every game too. So we'll just have to hang in there, work hard. We've been working hard. We're anxious to get this season started and get it off to the right foot.
Jim, the conference has great balance.
Great balance. Last year, we can attest to that with Georgia getting to the Final Four and just making a great showing for the SEC. You have great teams, Alabama, LSU are always tough for us to play against, and Tennessee naturally. So it's a great conference, a lot of competition, and we're just looking forward to getting into that competition, getting better and better, and improve each game, and hopefully we can be tough by the time the NCAA tournament rolls around.
Dickie Beal, get that get that pushing speed back. Jim Master, keep that shot going. And let's take this break, and we'll come back with more Wildcats.
Are they all here, or are they not all here? Well, Herr Commandant, I should say almost all are here.
Major Hofstadter, you won't believe this. Try me! I warn you, we have ways to make you talk.
Sir, you've been seeing too many war movies.
Silence!
Very well.
Hogan's Heroes, weeknights at 11:30 on WTSF.
WTSF TV presents the University of Kentucky Blue-White Game. See the #1 rated Wildcats scrimmage Thursday, November 10th at 8 p.m. and Saturday, November 12th at 11:30 p.m. Watch the UK Wildcats exclusively on WTSF TV 61, the station that makes the difference.
Well, we're back at Rupp Arena again, and
back
Dickie Beal is gone, and again I'm back up with the tall guys again. Weston Bennett, the 6'7" freshman, and to my left over here is 6'8" Kenny Walker. And guys up there again, up in the skies. Weston, welcome to the University of Kentucky, and welcome to our TV 61 microphone. And I know that it has to be a big thrill for you this time. Last year you were in high school and you're probably thinking about a college career, and I know that when you get down here and the reality, first of all, it hits you right between the eyes and say, great day, I'm here. And you're in Rupp Arena. How does a freshman adjust to this? And I know that it was a great big impact on your life, and it has been in the short time you've been here, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Mr. Todd. But it's been just a great thrill to be able to be numbered among these UK players. It's a tradition here that flows, throughout the country. Everybody in the country knows about the University of Kentucky, that program, and the conditioning program, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Weston, so far, we talked to Coach Joe Hall just a little while ago, and he's very impressed with how you've been working out of practice, and you're I think, way ahead of where he expected you to be at this time of the year. What's Weston Bennett's role going to be with the Wildcats? How do you feel about that?
Well, mainly, I'm just thinking about being a contributor to this team. Nothing other than that, doing the things that need to be done to win the ball games.
Do you feel the SEC is going to be a tough kind of a conference to play in?
Oh, SEC is no doubt one of the toughest conferences in the state.
It'll make Weston Bennett think a while, I'm sure, and he'll have to put out the effort. Over here, we've got another big guy, and this guy, they call him the Skywalker. We're not talking about Star Wars, we're talking about SEC Wars, and this is Kenny Walker.
Kenny, before I get to the question with you, I want to ask Winston one thing to go back, and no pressures at all were put on in the recruiting wars, were there?
Well, there was really a lot of pressure. We had rules and standards set down. My mother and father and my high school coach really did an excellent job of preventing a lot of the pressure.
Winston, that's the point I wanted you to make, because those are good sites to set your goal and know what you want in life and go ahead then pursue them. Right. Good luck to you here at the university.
Thank you.
Now let's get to the Skywalker man. Listen, I heard about you a long time ago. I have a son by the name of Larry Conley that used to do a little playing here at the University of Kentucky, and he told me not long ago, he said, Dad, there's a guy by the name of Walker in Georgia that can play.
You sure I wasn't Herschel?
And he said with Herschel Walker, then maybe with the football Georgia Dogs. No, sir, Kenny, we certainly are here. And if I could see the top of his head, fans, I'd want to know how many times he's hit that rim up there, Weston. He goes above it all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Kenny, how are you feeling here at the university after your freshman year?
Well, I feel real good now. I got 1 year under my belt now, and it's just really a pleasure for me to be here. I think it's a feather in my hat to be here to play with the guys at the University of Kentucky. Winston, an outstanding player coming in, and more outstanding freshmen coming in, and like I just said, I'm just thrilled to be here.
Well, Kenny, the talk around the Commonwealth is that there are two forwards going to get together, and that's Winston Bennett and Kenny Walker, and it's going to be a show to see these two play.
And here I stand between them.
Yeah, it will be great. Winston and I will be together for the next 3 years, and I certainly will enjoy playing with Winston. He's one heck of a player, plays with a lot of heart, a lot of intensity, and just goes out to win every time out. And that's the kind of players you want to play with, and I know for one, that's the kind of player I want to play with, and it just be great playing with him for the next 3 years.
That's a great reference.
Kenny, let me just ask you this one thing here, and as Winston knows, our high school basketball, has great tradition here in Kentucky. I'm a former high school coach at Ashland from years ago, and I've gone and seen this state tournament, and you saw it here last March. Where have you seen in Georgia 23,000 people at a high school basketball game?
I don't think you can never find that in Georgia. Maybe at a football game someplace, but never at a high school basketball.
How would you compare Georgia basketball with the Kentucky basketball?
Well, right here in Kentucky, this is a basketball state. Georgia is a predominantly football state. But I think the kids here, really grow up, really into basketball more. Whereas in Georgia, they grow up and looking for, football, becoming another Herschel Walker or whatever. But right here in Kentucky, the basketball at the high school level is great, and it's even better at the college level. And I just think that people here enjoy it more.
Very good, Kenny. And our thanks to you and continued success, sophomore Kenny Walker, freshman Winston Bennett. Have a great year.
Thank you. Good luck, Winston. With us right now, we continue with our delve into the University of Kentucky Wildcats. We have one more my size again. We get down to Roger Harden here. And, of course, the long side of the story is up here with Tom Heights, and 169 and 161. And this is the Indiana connection, as George was talking about a couple of minutes ago. And Roger, first of all, we'll talk to you. And I know that you're all excited about the 83-84 season. You're getting in now to another year. And last year, I'm sure, was a year that you sat and then you got to play a little bit. You got to watch and you learned a lot, I'm sure. This year here, I noticed that you're up front there. And, of course, Coach Hall is very impressed with your work. So we talked to him earlier. And first of all, you're a former Mr. Indiana coming to Kentucky, and let's talk just a second about that. Why did you choose Kentucky?
Well, I chose Kentucky really on the basis of Coach Hall. I think when you start dealing with big programs, I think, of course, Kentucky stands out with the crowd and Rupp Arena and all that, but I think Coach Hall, the coach has a lot to do with what the program's going to be like, and I have a lot of faith in Coach Hall then, and I still do today.
I'm sure you do. Right at this point in the season, how do you feel that the Wildcats right now, with their new additions, the new freshmen they've got three super freshmen now, how do you feel it stacks up for the season now? You feel that it's going to be a better season than last year?
Really hate to make any kind of prediction. That's just going to put a lot bit more pressure on both the coaches and the players, but we're looking for a very successful season, representing the people of Kentucky well. We'll play with a lot of heart and determination this year, just like we did last year, and however it ends, that's, whatever the Lord's will is.
That's exactly right. George, I was reading in the book coming down here in the station wagon and read about Tom Heights and his profile, and the thing about Tommy was he's got a great philosophy about the University of Kentucky basketball program. He wants to contribute, and I think that's exactly what you feel. You want to feel, whatever it is, if you had a son, that's exactly what you would teach him. Is that right? You want him to contribute to whatever the team concept is.
Oh, exactly. Whatever his talents are, I feel that if he just gives 100% in that area and does the coach or teacher, whatever his leader is, does what he asks him and gives 100%, then he is going to be successful.
Tommy, we know that for years now you've been sitting here watching, and what about Big Sam coming back now? What is going to be yours, filling in for Sam, filling in for Melvin, or what?
Well, I think my basic role this year is going to be a little bit of center and a little bit of forward, and it's going to be similar to what it's been in the past. I'm just going to be called to be kind of a utility man this year.
Tom, we spoke a moment ago, you and I, before we went on the air here. Look at these arms, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you think of strength, look at that muscle. but don't you think it's great to stand and talk to young gentlemen as these are and give you a profound philosophy of life and tell you that there is a meaningful program, and even if it's Kentucky basketball, Tom?
Exactly. This has been one of the greatest parts of my life that, I've been involved in, and I'm just so thankful and thank the Lord that he led me here to University of Kentucky, because, the program and especially fans, that's been the greatest part of it. Right.
Tom, let me ask you one question. A lot of our fans over in West Virginia watch, and give us a little rundown on your brother who was over at the University of West Virginia.
Yeah, my brother Mike played at the University of West Virginia between '68 and 1972, and he played with Will Robinson and some of those fellas back in the early '70s, and he really tried to get me to go to West Virginia, and I was ready to sign there until Kentucky started getting into the race.
And what was his height, Tom?
He was 7 foot.
7 feet tall. You see this gentleman here at 6'10" doing all right. And let's take time now, Mike, and thank these boys, all of them, for making a fine appearance. Roger, it's good to see you. Take care of things, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
This is Eric Estrada. Fasten your seatbelts as Ponch and John ride into action on Tips Patrol.
Let's get with it, huh? We're beginning to look ridiculous.
A computer printout?
Yeah, from my home model. It's the only way you can keep track of things.
Let's get going, Bonnie. I'll change on the way, okay?
Not in my car, you don't. If I wasn't a feminist, I'd kiss you.
We continue now with our look at the University of Kentucky Wildcats from 83-84. And with us now is a much heralded freshman from Indiana. And we'd like to take this time and opportunity right now to thank the state of Indiana for all their contributions to the Kentucky basketball program. Another one is a great one. Here's James Blackman, who is a 6'3" freshman. And James, we got a chance to watch you in practice a few minutes ago, son. And I'll tell you what, you've impressed me, and I'm sure you've impressed Coach Hall. And I know you impressed George Conley. And welcome to Kentucky.
All right, thanks.
How do you feel about the University of Kentucky right now? I know that you've been with us now for a short time. You've enrolled now. We're about into the, I guess, 2 months into the school year, and the basketball season now is getting started. How do you feel the James Blackman role is going to be with the Wildcats? What is that role?
Well, first of all, I feel great about the state of Kentucky, and my roles on the team. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just going to go out and fulfill what roles need to be taken. I'm just going to go out and try to do the job.
You have been. I read in a magazine, I think Al McGuire said it once upon a time, but he was comparing him to Isaiah Thomas once upon a time. How do you feel about that?
Well, Isaiah Thomas is a great player, and I don't think, I can fill in his shoes, but, I've seen him play a couple times, and he's also a great player, and I just like to go out and do the job.
Well, I can tell you what the recommendations are for James Blackman. If you're in trouble, give me the basketball and I'll put it in the basket for you. Now, that's the best thing.
That's exactly right.
But, James, let me ask you one question here while we go along. I know there was a lot of recruiting pressures during your senior year in high school. I know that all the schools in Indiana wanted you to stay there, and you chose Kentucky. How do you feel about that choice now over your Indiana schools?
Well, first of all, I want to go to a school that I was going to be happy for 4 years. I got a lot of pressure, like back home, they tell me I should go to IU and I should, all the other Indiana schools, but if there's really my true fans, they follow me wherever I go and wish me luck, at Kentucky.
Very well put, James, and I think there again is another philosophy that you'll see stand out at the University of Kentucky basketball. Good luck to you, freshman.
James, good luck to you, sir.
All right, thanks a lot.
Here's the sweepstakes rule. This box has balls in it. $50, $100, $500, $1,000 balls. I'm going to select one of those, and then I'm going to go to this cup. It's got either a 0 or a 1 in it for the first digit of a 6-digit number, and this machine is going to give us the other 5. After we've established what the 6 digits are, we go to the program. You've got one at home, or you can get one at home, either from participating sponsors at the TV station or already delivered to you. If the numbers I select from here match the numbers in your program, you've won the cash. Call within 15 minutes, let us know. Come by within 24 hours, bring the program, pick up the cash. That's all there is to it. There's no purchase necessary. It's as easy as that, so you can win the cash, so try.
We are sitting here in this midst of this tremendous arena here at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, Mike and George, and little did we know that we'd run into some old friends here of George's. We've already talked to Coach Joe Hall a few moments ago, and we're going to be talking to some other fine people here in Lexington. But George, we ran up on another old buddy sitting here, and you walked right on by him and didn't know he was sitting there.
I didn't recognize him without his striped shirt. But he didn't know me without that striped shirt and that whistle. And friends, it is my pleasure, believe me, to introduce one of the true sports journalists of all time, and I mean this sincerely, Ritter Collette of the Dayton Journal. Now, Ritter Collette and I go back. Not only does he cover the Red Legs from beginning to end, he covers the playoffs, the series, and he just finished, Mike, coming back from the series. But we go back to the days of Tom Blackburn and the old University of Dayton gym, Ritter.
Lord of mercy, George, we do go back to those days, and those were fun days. You sit here in this arena, 23,000, the biggest in the United States, wonderful place that it is, and you think of those little intimate places like the campus field house at UD, 5,800 seats all the time, socked in, people breathing down your throat, and you realize what basketball has become. And here in Kentucky, of course, that's no surprise to anyone, because basketball and Kentucky are synonymous. They always will be, and I'm sure that you'll have a massive turnout in Ashland down there when the Cats come.
Well, Ritter, I know, and to tell our fans again, the background of this gentleman, this 38th year with the Dayton Journal as a sports editor. And believe me, when you ask a question in sports, you don't have to go to the record book. Go to Ritter Collette. He'll tell you exactly what it is.
George, you're pumping me up beyond all expectations, but it's been a great 38 years, and it's been a great career in sports. And one of the reasons that it's great is that you do meet great people. I mean, yourself, and I think of all the officials that have gone along here, and I'm going to give Tommy Bell a call before I get out of town here, and to say hello before I head back, and I've enjoyed it very much. I don't know whether you know it or not. I wrote the book on Art Schleisner that the title Straight Arrow, that sort of has given us all some anxious moments, and I've been kind of busy in recent years, but I still have a soft spot in my heart for that part of the world down there, Ashland. I was born in Iron Nose. over across the river.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
And of course, I left there way back in 1938 to go to High University, and then got in a little thing called World War II, and took a job in Dayton. Never realized it would be my life, but I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, Ritter, we bring the likes of names of Dan Tehan and Jim Beersdorfer and those people. Doesn't it bring back things?
Oh, Lord, it certainly does. And George, I tell you something else that brings back to me. The night I saw you as angry as anybody could ever be, the night Bones McKinney put on that great show up in the Dayton Field House, and Bones had one of his players take off his shirt to start for the locker room or something like that. George called a technical foul, and George, you were within 10 seconds of belting him, and I wouldn't have blamed you.
Well, Bones was really making a joke of the game, and there's no place in basketball, as you well know, Ritter. I never did try to make a joke of the game. I didn't work it that way, and I don't think they should act that way. Bones and I are great friends, and if people know Bones McKinney, they'll understand what we're talking about.
Oh, that's right, and he was going a little bit too far with his showmanship that night. You know, George, officiating has changed a little bit, too. Guys like yourself ran around, you weren't as mechanical as they are today, and the conferences, I think, make them a little bit that way. If you take the human element out away from the great officials, you mentioned Dan Tehan. There's never been a better football or basketball official than Dan. Of course, he's dead and gone right now. But when he was in charge of the ball game, it wasn't an adversarial relationship, and maybe that's a sign of our times. I don't know.
Well, fans, this has been Ritter Collette of the Dayton Journal, our guest, and certainly one of my great friends, and believe me, it was a pleasure running into him today.
We'll be back with more from Rupp Arena at the University of Kentucky Wildcats right after you see this.
Here are 50 reasons why there's a United States Air Force. No doubt you can think of 200 million more. Aim high, Air Force.
We continue now with our Meeting the Wildcats of 83-84, and with us right now is one of the new assistant coaches here at UK. We've got a couple of them. One is Jim Hatfield, but one with us right now is Lake Kelley. Lake, welcome to our TV 61 microphone, and I know that if you're just like George and me, it is quite an experience sitting here. We were talking before we went on the air. You get impressed every time you come to practice.
Well, the guys are working hard, and when you get all those big people out there on the floor working hard, it makes for a real thrilling situation in a lot of ways.
I'm sure of that. And speaking of situations, George goes back a long way with you, and I think he ought to tell the fans right now how you know Lake Kelley.
Well, I love Lake Kelley, folks, I'm telling you, because I go back with his father, Senator Ed from Flemingsburg. Ed Kelley and I served in the state senate together, and I got to know these Kelley boys a long time ago, and I have nothing but the greatest respect. And now, Lake, how are you doing with the adaptation from high school, Clark County? And folks, this is where you saw this man before, was at Clark County High School, because he was head coach over there last year and made the transition then with Joe Hall over here to the University of Kentucky.
Well, George, it's the level of talent certainly is better.
Oh, now I'm going to ask you about the officiating level sometimes.
Okay. Well, you can if you want to, I guess. That'll be all right. But it's great to be working with players of this caliber and fine young men. I'm very, very impressed with them as people. So we know what we have to do. We know that the people we're going to be playing against have just as good a talent in a lot of ways. So it's a very challenging situation.
Lake, you and I have followed this thing for years and years, and we know a lot about Kentucky basketball. And as I talk to some of the young men here, the players, is the balance in the conference this year?
I think everybody throughout the country, even Georgia, especially in Division I, has talent. And this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. It really doesn't matter what team is coming in to play you. You better be ready to play if it's a Division I team. And then you go to Division II and NAIA, those people have a lot of talent.
They've got some tournament players out there in that NAIA tournament in Kansas City. I know
sure
that.
have. I think there's just a lot of good basketball players all over the country, and programs are getting good players now, and it's a matter of, I think, a mental approach. I think the team that's ready to play will be in better shape because you have to with all that talent around.
Blake, to that lovely wife of yours, let's say hello and wish you the best and those fine children. And I know that Grandma Kelley sits over and waits to see you.
Thank you, George, very much.
All right, fans, that seems to be it, and we hope you have enjoyed. Mike, you anything to add on this last comment?
No, sir. It's been an experience. It's been excitement. It's been everything I thought it would be. And I hope that everybody comes out Thursday night to watch the blue and the white at Summit Junior High.
There you go.
Good night.
This exclusive Sports Wrap special has been brought to you in part by Area Advertising, committed to the betterment of youth in the tri-state area. Our Trip's old-fashioned produce, home of delicious fresh fruits and vegetables, and basement waterproofing, dedicated to quality in basement waterproofing. And by ComputerData.com for your business's computer needs. And Downtown Cleaners, let us take care of the clothes you wear.
Points a game last year.
Put it up. A lot of concentration there. This guy, you can understand why he shoots as good as he does.
Jim Masters, Kyle Macy, great free throw shooters that Kentucky got out of that Indiana connection.
He'll have another now. Makes it 6-5. They need this now to pull even for the third tie of the game. And it is good. So we have our third tie of the ball game and the fourth point for Jimmy Master. Out comes hard to get out. A 6-6 ball game with 16:20 in the first half. Here's Barrett, and he's going to be fouled, looks like, by Kenny Walker. Kenny picks up his first foul, and the first foul of the half for the white team.
Foul is on number 34, Kenny Walker.
Just straight man-to-man defense both ways, Mike. Nothing changed at all as yet.
It'll be taken out on the side, as you can see. Brett Barrett, who is 6'9", a senior. Inbounds it now to Roger Arden, top of the key, angles on down the baseline now to Brett Barrett, or that's Chalmey Heights. That's Barrett.
Brett Barrett.
Barrett gets the two, and a nice touch for the big man.
6'9" shooter, I tell you, he's got good touch on the basketball.
8-6.
Look here.
Look at this. Beautiful. Winston Bennett gets it.
What a play by Bennett, catching the ball, hanging in midair, and just simply laying the ball in the basket.
6'7" freshman gets it. We have an 8-8 ball game, the fourth tie of the night. Here's Tommy Heights with the basketball, looks inside, goes to Paul Andrews. Down low we go to Tom Heights, and the turnaround left-hander, no good. And Kenny Walker with the basketball, and here we come. Here the Whites are on the run now. And here's James Blackman off of the glass. It rims out of there, of course. And James will put it on the fingertip roll, but
goaltending by Barrett. Goal will count. 2 points.
So the 2 points do count.
So a 10-8 lead now for the white team, Mike.
Now Blackman gets his first basket of the night. Here's Roger Arden. On the weave it goes to Andrews. Drives wide open and a reverse layup. It's good. Paul Andrews.
Well, everybody talks about Paul Andrews not being front line. I tell you, he's the kind of boy that'll help you, though, Mike.
Look at Master.
Another pure shooter by Jim Master.
Beautiful shot by Jimmy Master. Makes it 12-10, the Whites.
He can drop those 18, 20-footers in all night long.
He can fill it up. There's Roger Arden down to Sam. Sam, nice assist by Brett Barrett. Look at that. By Dewey to Barrett, and the 2 points.
The big Sam gave it up. Barrett up on a reverse layup, just simply dropping the ball into the hoop. Very soft.
It is a 12 ball game now, the fifth tie of the night. Here's Turpin from the baseline, good. Melvin's fourth point.
This scoring will be spread around quite well, I think.
I can guarantee you that. Roger Arden. Here's Sam Bowie, shoots it off again to Andrews. Boy, he's an unselfish type player. Here's a steal. Watch this. Here we go. Here's Kenny Walker. Oh, there you go.
That's
Kenny Walker.
Fans want to see, Mike.
Beautiful.
Skywalker in action.
We may get a replay of that in a few minutes. Here's Roger Harden. Down the line we go. Paul Andrews backs it back out to Roger Harden. No good. Tipped up and in by Sam Bowie. And I think
by Turpin. Big Sam going up on a left-handed tip. Good ball control. Here you see that slam by Big Skywalker, Kenny Walker.
Yes, sir. 16-14 now the score. And the foul, of course, on Melvin Turpin a moment ago. Packed house here at Summit. If you waited to get in, you know what it was like. If you're watching
this is a way to initiate basketball and get ready for the local season, isn't it?
I think it's a great thing. I really do. I just hope they come back next year to do it again. Here's Sam Bowie, shot good, and it is a 16-15 ball game. James Blackman. Master kicks it back out. Bennett inside to Melvin, puts a fake. Oh, beautiful play. Melvin Turpin, what a fake.
Well, Big Bill got Big Sam in the air, hanging that time, came around with a slam dunker on the reverse side.
George, you said he was much improved, and boy, he is.
Well, we said in our interview, you know, that if there was a Cy Young Award in basketball, Melvin Turpin certainly would have earned it last year.
Here's Sam, air ball, and it goes out of bounds, 18-15. The Light team are ahead right now with 13:31 to go, and here's a replay of that one that we saw just a moment ago.
Well, he got Sam up in the air. You couldn't see the finish of that, but Big Bill got him up, came around, and laid it in.
James Blackman.
That's one of those high percentage shots, Mike.
Yeah, it sure is. Here's Jimmy Blackman, puts it up way high, and it got, well, I thought it was going to bounce in, but not. We've got a foul underneath as Walker was fouled by Barrett, I think.
Walker show you that jumping ability. I tell you, he's going to be some great basketball player.
Here's that
replay. You see how Big Sam got up in the air and left his feet. And that's something you just don't do in this game, Mike, is leave your feet, get hung in the air, and then Turpin coming around for the slam dunk.
That's the third team foul of the half. Their first on Brett Barrett. And Kenny Walker will be at the line now. He has 2 points in the basketball game. A field goal. It is 18-15. The Whites are out on top as Kenny puts it up and good.
Walker had a great series, Mike, in the summertime in the World Playoff games over in Spain, and the story there about that is that that's where he came in contact with a 7'4" boy from Germany that they're looking at right now.
He's a 66% free throw shooter, and you can see why. He needs to improve that a little bit, though, I think. Here's Roger Harden. Paul Andrews down to Barrett. Here's Sam, and puts it up and in. Sam Bowie with the basket. 7 points for Sam. It is 20-17 now.
Bowie seems to be moving on his leg very well right now.
Winston Bennett. Barrett tries to get a charge out of it. Sam, going to be called for a foul, I think, George.
Well, the jump switch out front, a lot of people thought that there was a charge on the part of Blackman, or Bennett rather, going over Barrett. And then Big Sam made sure it didn't go in. All 7-1 of it.
Sam Bowie, a 74% free throw shooter. Here's the replay of it.
There's the block. There's the foul committed by Bowie. And there you see Big Sam, hands on hip, breathing a little heavy right now. They'll get that wind to get going here in a minute, and you're going to see some street shooting, Mike.
Well, what a crowd. What a crowd here tonight. They really enjoyed this. I think it's been a great anticipation for the Ashland area. And probably a lot of people here from, I guess, you know, around the area.
Well, just a lot of people who won't get to see many games at the University of Kentucky this year, and this is a great opportunity for them to come out and look at the Wildcat team.
Here's Winston Bennett now. Bennett, a 76 free throw shooter, puts it up, no good.
Winston Bennett, a Louisville Mayo product, didn't get to the state tournament any of his 3 or 4 years in high school, Mike, and it's a shame because the boy could have displayed some show up there, I think, at Lexington.
He had a 25.4 average in high school last year. It rolls around and in. So it's a 21-17 basketball game. The Whites are out on top. Here come the Blue again now with 12:41 to go in the first half of play. Tommy Heights with the basketball. Shoots it out on the wing down to Paul Andrews. It's going to rim out of there, no good, and Bennett has it off of his knee.
Well, Bennett had the ball dropped off, rolled off his leg, out of bounds to the Blue.
21-17. Roger Harden back to Brett Barrett. He's got a good touch out there, George.
He's got an excellent touch. Brett Barrett's going to be able to fill in either Bowie or Turpin, and he's going to see a lot of playing time coming off that bout with Mono.
That's 8 points for Barrett on the night. 21-19 now the gap. And here's Blackman trying to get it down low to Melvin, but it's knocked away, of course. And here comes Harden. They're back on the attack, across the timeline now at 12:08. Rogers shoots it back to Andrews. Back to Barrett. Still man-to-man now, as they have been the entire ball game. Here's Paul Andrews down low to Sam, and he puts it up off of the glass. No good. And with a rebound, 6'7", Winston Bennett. Here's Blackman. There, just trying to get the alley-oop to go into Walker, but I think he stepped on the baseline.
Well, I think he would have had it. Harden made a good switch, dropped back just as Blackman got in the air again, and Walker could not control the ball out of bounds.
11:48 to go in the first half. Roger Harden, 6'1", sophomore. There's Tommy Heights, fine Christian young man. We talked to him. He really has a great philosophy of life. Roger Harden, 21-19. The Whites are out on top. Here's the ball knocked loose by Bennett, but recovered by Andrews. Back to Harden, wants to shoot, he walks.
Mike, you might notice in the offensive setup for our fans are setting up in a double post, actually a tandem type offense, a double man on each side of the lane with 1 point guard, and that being Harden out front. And you notice a lot of times this will be the basic start for all their offensive patterns. You notice how they're setting up here.
That's exactly right. Here's Master, wants to shoot, and he does from 10. It's good. Jimmy Master, and Master's got the touch. That is Jim's 8th point of the night.
Well, Jim Master can show you that picture-perfect shooting form.
23-19 is the score now. The Whites are out on top. The blue team wants a timeout, and with that, we'll be right back with more for the blue-white game right after you see this.
Are you bored? Tired of just sitting around? Do you feel like your life is a dead-end street with no direction? Maybe you're in a rut and need a lift. The Ashland area JCs can fulfill those needs and give you that needed lift. The JCs are a leadership training organization that gives you the opportunity to become involved in your community. Whether you're interested in personal growth or civic involvement, the Ashland area JCs can help direct you in living a richer, more productive life. Join a winning team. Contact the JC today.
You may not have been expecting it, but here it is. An American revolution has hit the streets of your city.
Dodge, an American revolution.
Here, now, Dodge Daytona and Daytona Turbo. Coming soon, Dodge Caravan. But come see, feel, and drive the 84 Dodges for yourself and discover what American revolutions are made of.
We are Dodge, an American revolution.
Griffith Moore Dodge, 1041 Greenup Avenue, Ashland.
It is 23-19, 10:57 to go in the first half, George, and quite an exciting game so far.
Well, Mike, we've had some right good shooting, I think, thus far. Bowie leads right now, has 3 field goals and has 4 missed shots, so 3 out of 7 isn't a bad average. 1 for 1 at the free throw line. Barrett has 4 field goals in 5 attempts, so he's leading the way right now for the blue team. Heights has missed 1 shot. Harden has missed 1. Andrews is 2 for 3, so he has a total of 4 points. For the white team right now, Bennett has a field goal and a free throw. Walker has a field goal and 2 free throws, as neither have missed a shot as yet. Of course, they haven't shot that many. Turpin right now is 3 for 4, 6 points. Master is 3 for 4 and 2 free throws with 8 points. Blackman is only 1 for 5 thus far.
Well, back to play-by-play we go now, and here's Sam Bowie being double-teamed out at long range, shoots it out to Harden now. 23-19, the blue team needs a couple of baskets here. Here's Brett Barrett again, and he misses for a long one. Here's Paul Andrews on the follow, and he's got it.
Paul Andrews, a 6'3 man, 6'4 maybe, is shows you what it can be like to get into Timberland.
Here's Master, down to Blackman we go. James Blackman, what a player he is. Kenny Walker on the turnaround, off of the glass, no good, and here comes the outlet pass from Bowie to Harden. Down we go now to Paul Andrews. Has it knocked away. Bowie, nice give to Barrett. Trying to dunk the thing, and I think we've got a foul possibly on Kenny Walker. Boy, he was up there, though.
Oh, it wasn't any way that ball was going into the hoop, I can tell you that.
George, I think the fans are enjoying this type of a ball game. We're going to have a replay of it right here, and you look at...
Well, there goes Barrett, Walker up. Of course, he had a hand on the ball, but got him with the body.
They're going at it 110. There's no 75% in this type of a ball game, even though it's an inter-squad game.
That's right, and they're not that far away from still deciding who's going to start in this team, you know, Mike.
That's right. Here's Barrett's shot, no good. He'll have another in the active shooting. He has 8 points of the night, trying to make it 9.
Brett Barrett has a younger brother that's about 6, 7, or 8 right now, Mike, playing high school ball at London in Laurel County.
Barrett, a 60% free throw shooter, cans this one to make it 23-22. Only a 1-point ball game now. The white team on top. James Blackman from Marion, Indiana. Here's Winston Bennett. Back out to Blackman. Down low it goes to...
defense by Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett into the stands over here. Beat Mr. Barrett.
I think there's a youngster over there scared to death. A young man sitting just a real young tot. He didn't know which way to go.
23-22. I don't think the blue team has led in this ball game, George, yet.
I don't think so as yet.
Here's Bennett from the baseline. It's going to rim out of there, and they knocked out of bounds. Ron Dixon says it'll be the white basketball.
Well, we'll see some changes, I'm sure, as far as pairings in the second half, Mike, and there will be a lot of changing as far as the lineup's concerned.
Here's Master. Back to Kenny Walker from the free throw line. Nice touch from Kenny Walker and his 6th point of the game.
Well, if you can shoot free throws, you can hit that shot.
It is 25-22 now. The white team retains the lead. Down low we go to Sam, and he's got it.
Turpin on one side, Walker on the other, and Big Sam just took her up and put it in the basket. Now, that's the way to play basketball, I guess, Mike, and
yes,
that's
sir.
the easy way.
9 points for Sam Bowie. It is 25-24. Here's Big Kenny again. Boy, he's going to be something. Kenny Walker filling them up now, but 9:27 to go in the first half of play. What a great touch Kenny Walker's got on the basketball. Here's Brett Barrett. Barrett being double-teamed over there on the baseline. And back to Sam. No, rejects it. And here comes Blackman, 1-on-2. He backs out of there now. Shoots it out on the wing to Master. He's got it. Jim Master.
Ring him up. That's the cash register in motion.
Jimmy Master down double figures, George, with 10.
Well, he can shoot the basketball. There's never been any question about that. And Jim Master, one of the very fine young men on this team.
8:54 to go in the first half. On the wing we go to Paul Andrews. He can shoot. It's going to rim out of there, though. Sam with a rebound. Puts it on the ground and where they can get it, and we've got a tie.
Our first substitute getting ready to come in, Dickie Beal.
Dickie Beal comes in. He's a crowd favorite. Out goes James Blackman. So Dickie Beal, the 5'11 senior from Covington, comes in now with 8:44 to go.
Well, many of our fans will remember Dickie Beal, of course, Mike, and that's the young man who played such an excellent guard position on the Covington Holmes team that Ashland beat in 3 overtimes down at Louisville in the state tournament when Big Tipton boy was playing here at Ashland.
Yep, I remember that. 29-24 now. The Whites out on top with a 5-point lead now. Can go out to the biggest lead of the game now for them. Up to 7 if they can score this time down.
29-24, and that's a little more of a spread than we thought there for a while, Mike. They can go to 7 this trip.
George, the game has been tied 5 times at 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12. Here's Dickie Beal. What a speed man he is, I'll tell you. Dickie loses his footing over there, but gets back up.
You can almost hear the people sigh and say, is that the bad knee giving away?
Yeah. Kenny sort of palmed the ball that time, and on the turnover, down the Blues have it the other way.
Dickie Beal's a little ginger on that knee out there right now, but I think he's all right as far as that's a slick spot on the floor.
29-24, White's out on top. Here comes Harden, tracked by Beal. These two very well might be one of the top 3 guards they'll have. Here's play. Master going into the bench over here.
Now in the scrimmage game, you can see how enthusiastic these players are, Mike, because you just don't do those things in scrimmage and take a chance on getting hurt.
Like you said, George, there's a few starting lineup positions open, and everybody's fighting right now.
That's exactly right. There are only about 3 positions, I'd say, that are solidified out here right now.
Here's a ball that goes off of the hand of Paul Andrews. The Whites will have it in the backcourt with 8:06 to go in the first half of play. Crowd right now sort of, I think, anticipating. They're very quiet. They're very, I think, entertained so far in the half, but they're waiting for some big things to happen. Here's the turnover, and lob
Didn't get over Beal.
Here's Harden trying to put it up, and he gets it off of the glass.
Well, he had to shoot that one 10, 12 feet high because Walker was standing right in front of that basket up there after his jump.
Rogers got his first 2 points of the game now. Makes it 29-26, Dickie Beal. Winston out on the far side. And we have it goes out of bounds on the baseline there. We'll have it on the back court now.
Tommy Heights made a good switch on defense over there to cut that off, and that's what resulted in the blue turnover, or in the white turnover to the blue.
7:28 to go in the first half. Here's a alley-oop now. It's almost
He almost made it.
He sure did. Here's Master down to Kenny Walker, and a good defensive play by Paul Andrews stops that 2 points. Here we go to Barrett. Barrett down low, gives it back out to, Barrett's got a great touch.
Heights had the ball underneath and feed back to Barrett, and Barrett's showing us some good shooting here tonight.
That is the 11th point for Brett Barrett. He's in the double figures also now. 7 minutes to go. Jimmy Master right here in front of us. As we look down low we go, and the ball was intended for Turpin, but knocked away by Bowie and out of bounds.
Well, Big Sam came out to bat away again. Barrett is just 5 for 7 thus far in the game, Mike.
Oh, he's going to be, what a great asset he'll have and be for the Wildcats this year. Here's Melvin. Drives and tries to stuff it in, but I think we've got a personal foul.
Brett Barrett on the arm. There's Big Turpin getting up under the basket. I think he had him a dunk from about 10 feet out, Mike.
Second personal foul on Brett Barrett, the 6'9" junior. And Big Merrill will go at the line down. He has 6 points on the night. And in the act of shooting, he'll have a couple. Turpin, a 68% free throw shooter. Averaged 11.1 last year. His high game last year, George, was 42, and I think you remember that one.
Down at Tennessee.
It is no good.
Just like we've said many times, Mike, I honestly think that he was the most improved basketball player in the United States last year. Troy McKinley coming in to replace Tom Height.
Melvin will have another. It is 29-28. We may have our 6th tie of the ball game right now. Or rather, well, not that way. The Whites are out on top. So they can enlarge that to 2. It is that way. Melvin has 7. It is now 30-28. The Whites out on top. Here's Roger Harden, tracked out at long range by Beal. Roger drives. Beal cuts him off.
This Beal is quick as a cat. I tell you what, now he's got speed to burn out there, and if his leg gets back in shape, he's going to be a real point guard now, Mike.
His lateral movement, George, looks very good right now. Here's Barrett from long range again, and Sam just puts it up and in.
Well, you got a 10-foot funnel up there. You can go ahead and make many of them, I think.
11 points for Bowie now, 30-30, our 6th tie of the ball game. Here's Master. Back it is to Bennett. Back to Beal. Beal puts it up. I think we had some contact there, but it slipped out of his hand.
Tried to lob pass over to Walker, and Walker just could not get to the ball. Good, tenacious defense out here tonight, Mike.
Here is Troy McKinley. McKinley to Harden. Harden looks inside. Bowie breaks down low, but he's got turf all over him. Here we go back out. The ball is stolen by Walker. Here we go now. And down low again. Well, the ball batted around, as you can see. And here's Beal. Back it is to Turpin. Beal just says, well, nope, nice speed inside.
Kenny Walker, I tell you, and you can see Jicky Beal's got his eyes all over that floor right now. And we've got a timeout, so Mike, let's take this break right now, and we'll be back in a moment.
Now has a public auto auction. Every Saturday you can have over 100 units to choose from and buy at auction prices. If you haven't been able to sell your car, bring it to Ashland Auto Auction. You may reserve the highest bid, and if it doesn't bring what you want, you don't have to sell. Get your money the same day. Pick up the phone and call 324-1933 for all the details. Don't forget, every Saturday at noon, buy and sell cars, boats, campers, and cycles. That's at Ashland Auto Auction, located on US 23 Russell Road, across from Hex.
Let Highland Floor Covering give your home that special touch. With a showroom of over 14,000 square feet, Highland Floor Covering has carpet and vinyl floors for residential, commercial, or industrial use. featuring carpets of Anso 4 by Salem Carpet Mills. There are thousands of yards in stock ready for immediate installation. After 15 years, Highland is the largest dealer in the area. Come and see why. That's Highland Floor Covering, 2141 Winchester Avenue in Ashland.
Well, back we are, Mike, Todd, and George Conley here at Summit Gymnasium, the blue-white game, and it is 32-30, the white team out on top. It has been pretty good so far.
Well, this is another thing a lot of people like to watch, and that is the championship cheerleading squad from the University of Kentucky, and they certainly do put on a fine show. And right now, as we're handing some of our shooting totals right now, the blue has 14 for 26, 53.9%. The white has 13, 21. For 61.9. The blue has 10 rebounds, the white has 9. The blue has 6 turnovers, the white has 10 turnovers. Of course, this is all preseason material that we're looking at. Bowie and Barrett are leading with 11 points, and then Walker and Master leading with 10 for the white squad.
There's 5:28 to go in the first half of play, and George, I think about James Blackman, we should say. Before James went to the University of Kentucky over at Marion, Indiana, George, tell him what he did.
Well, you have your notes made here, fans. This is really funny. I like the comment James gave to me, though. He said, Mr. Conley said, I fried hamburgers at McDonald's, but said I couldn't invite Turpin to come up because we had to hide all the hamburgers.
Yeah, he used to fry them over there, and well, he's quite a kid. He really is. Loves steak, though. He tells me about that. He's a math major.
Oh, he's a good student. He had no problems whatsoever with grade-wise, and I think we're just going to look to a great future for this young man at the University of Kentucky. I think the guard play will pick up considerably, and I tell you, in all seriousness, right now thus far, I've been impressed with Andrews, Paul Andrews' play, the boy from Laurel County that you see right there on your screen now. And Andrews is certainly a fine man.
I worry about him, though. His favorite sports announcer, I asked him who it was, and he said it was Howard Cosell.
Well.
Now, he did. He said that. I worry about Paul Andrews. Well, maybe after he sees us one time.
He's going to convert to Conley and Todd, he said here.
But he envies, and one of his great idols is Dr. J, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, 5:28, and we go right now. Paul Andrews, the young man we were talking about, inbounds it now to Hardin. And here come the Blue now, trailing 32-30 in the basketball game. It's been a good ball game. The crowd's still a little bit anticipating some of the I think they're sitting here in awe, really.
Well, they're sitting and waiting for the slam dunk affairs. They're waiting for some of the great outside shooting and a little more speeding on the fast break, I think.
Paul Andrews into Bowie at 5:17 to go in the first half of play. Roger Arden, tracked, of course, by Beal. Down low it goes to Andrews. Stolen away almost by James Blackman. That'll be the blue ball.
The leading shooters right now, Masters 4 for 5, Walker's 4 for 5, Barrett is 5 for 8, and Bowie is 5 for 10. Rebounding, Bennett has 4, and Bowie has 6.
Kenny Walker comes out of there now, and Tom Heights goes into the ball game. As he's defected now, George.
Well, they'll change sides on you once in a while.
They will do that, and I think Mr. Stacy said that they'd do that, possibly. He's the SID man at UK. Here's Barrett now, passes it back to Hardin. He pops it up no good, and tipped up and in by Sam Bowie.
Another tip in by Big Sam, and that's what the people are wanting to see, Mike, and that's more of the tip and the upstairs play of both Bowie and Turpin.
13 points for Sam Bowie now at 4:39 in the first half of play. Winston Bennett. Bennett is going to be fouled on the arm by McKinley.
Well, Troy McKinley from Simon Kenton High School in Kenton County, Covington, Kentucky, and Troy McKinley is another of those class pure shooters.
Foul is on number 40, McKinley.
McKinley, his first personal foul of the night.
Ball control foul, out of bounds on the sidelines. Not a shooting foul as yet.
Winston Bennett, number 25, much talented player from Louisville, says the greatest inspiration of his life, George, is learning about Jesus Christ. Here's Winston. There he is. He's going to be killed by Bennett, and he almost gets to the basket.
Well, Bennett got him hanging in the air, and McKinley again. Of course, these mistakes we talk about, Mike, you don't leave your feet on defense until that man's ready to go with the basketball.
So Bennett in the act of shooting now is going to step up there. As I said, he's a fine Christian young man, and he really admires his mom and dad. He thinks that they are the greatest thing.
Tremendous outlook on life, I think, Mike.
He's a business administration major. So Winston has 3 points, and the next one is up and in good. He really credits his mom and dad, George, for getting him where he's at. His dad was a real inspiration through high school for him.
Well, he certainly was, and his mother, I tell you what, it's just, I think, a tremendous thing to look at a young boy like Winston Bennett here and have that much devotion and still continue with his parents.
3 out of 4 at the line for Winston Bennett and his 5th point of the night. Here's McKinley. Back to Harden. Harden's played the entire first half at point guard. And Harden drives, but it's going to be knocked away by Beal from behind. And into Sam we go, and Sam can't get it in. And it's going to be knocked around, as we see, and knocked out of bounds.
Good defensive play upstairs there by Turpin on Big Sam Bowie trying to lay that ball in. So Turpin hasn't slacked off any, I don't think, Mike.
Not at all. It's 34-32. The Whites out on top. We could have a tie right here now if the blue team can pop one in somewhere. Here's Paul Andrews. And down low to Bowie. Bowie is just hammered inside there, I think, by Turp, and he can't believe it.
Well, that's a typical way to react to an official's call. That's all.
Really and truly right now, George, you look at Harden, you look at Andrews, you look at McKinley, and you've got really 3 guards in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've got Beal out here, and the guard play with Blackman now, you're looking at the 5 possible guards that he can have. With Master, that makes a 6 man.
34-32, just under 4 minutes to go in the first half of play. Ball inbounded to Troy McKinley, an 18-footer, and Troy does not get it. It's going to be banged out of there, and they're going to call Sam, I think, over the back. That's his 3rd personal foul.
Ball control foul, out of bounds again. Remember, fans, the basketball season hasn't started yet, but in college ball, you don't start shooting until the 7th personal foul, but it is a personal shooting foul. Mike, we need to get in this word right now, so let's just take a small break while we're getting ready on this free throw, and we'll be right back with the score 34-32.
Now for WTSS $5,000 sweepstakes, sponsored by Clark's Pump and Shop, Mac and Dave, Kentucky Farmers Bank, Giovanni's Pizza, and Big Sandy Furniture. And now on with the sweepstakes. Here's Gary.
Okay, I'm going to go out along a limb here and predict a UK victory. How many did I draw? A bunch. Okay, $75 and $50 and $50. You went to UK. What's that add up to?
175.
175. There's a UK major here. Unfortunately, he was in communications. He had to use his fingers. But first number is a 1. Turn on the machine for the extras. For $175. If this number matches your number, you've got 15 minutes to call in. Come on, give me a ball. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, there you go. You got 15 minutes to call in. Let us know your winner. 24 hours to come by with that number and collect your cash prize. In this case, $175. So, check your programs. Numbers match, your winner. 101649. So if that's your number, 101649, you got 15 minutes to call in, and you can win some cash.
Relax and unwind, come see what you find. The difference is 61. Start living and growing together with your tri-state family. We'll bring you a smile, so watch for her. Discover us. WTSF can make the difference.
Okay, that number again, 101649. If that number is your number, and check your programs to make sure. You've got 15 minutes to call 606-329-2700, and you can be a winner. That's all there is to it. It's relatively simple, so check it. 15 minutes for 101649. If that's your number, you can be a winner. And now, go Big Blue.
Bennett, a 76.6 free throw shooter. Averaged 25.4 his senior year last year, and he's got it up and in again. That's 4 out of 5, George.
Winston Bennett can shoot the basketball. There's never any question about that. I think he just needed a little more help down there on his male team to get out of that region to the state tournament. Here's concentration. You see the concentration in that young boy's eyes up and in, and that's the pure shooting ability of Winston Bennett.
5 out of 6. Here's McKinley on the baseline. Has a gimme. Knocked out. There you go. Winston Bennett, the 6'7" freshman, blasted into the bleachers.
Well, our fans can see why they're comparing Winston Bennett to Kenny Walker right there on that block. McKinley can't take that much time and cock that arm.
Yeah, that gets that crowd to come alive. Here's a nice play by Troy McKinley from an assist.
McKinley gets his first basket of the night.
Well, let's tell the freshman you don't make a great play and then forget defense, though, man.
That's right. You got to make the transition. And 36-34, here's Beal driving all alone. He's going to be hammered by McKinley, but they do not call it. And here we go with Sam Bowie.
Here's Bowie leading the fast break. How about this?
I don't think Joe Hall wants that. Here's Sam inside. He puts it up and in.
Well, when you got a 7-foot man like this leading the fast break now, and people are saying, hey, his leg's all right, he can move.
He's got 15 on the night now, 3:14 here in the first half of play. 36-36, that is our 7th tie of the night. Here's James Blackman.
There are some picks being set out there.
I'll tell you. Here's Melvin Turpin off of the glass, no good. Harden with the basketball on the baseline, comes out of there now. Across the timeline, on the wing it is to McKinley. Back it comes to Paul Andrews with an 18-footer. Rims out, no good. And Paul Andrews follows, good. George, I'm like you about Paul Andrews. A lot of people are, I think, not giving him the credit of his talent.
Well, this is what I'm saying, you know, and as I always said, you see here on your replay, there's the block by Walker, but then he forgets to play defense, and McKinley turns around and lays the ball in the basket. So the transition game, Mike, is the thing that you've got to concentrate on a lot of the time.
I bet the Tomcats from 53 heard about that, didn't they not?
Oh.
George, you coached a former Wildcat, Earl Adkins, once upon a time, and he was quite a player also.
Oh, we had some kids. I tell you, I had several boys that went into the Southeastern Conference, Mike. Earl Adkins, named one from Ashland that went to Kentucky. Bob Emmerich and Jerry Henderson and John Eggleston, all three went to the University of Florida. Well, I had quite a few boys sprinkled across this country. One of the boys that I remember particularly was Joel Krogh, who was co-captain of Southern Methodist University. The only time that they ever went to the NCAA tournament, and they were defeated by a pretty good basketball team, and that was none other than Bill Russell and the San Francisco team.
Yeah, the Dons, I think they were called. All right, here's Tommy Heights now. He's on the white team now, and his shot is no good. It is 36-38. We've got some new people into the ball game. Some of the walk-ons are on there now. We'll call them for you in a minute. Here's Blackman with a steal from Harden, and he rolls it up, left fingertip control. Blackman looked out of his eye there just for a second to check where Harden was at.
He's going to pick up the defense.
Yeah, here's an almost steal by Tommy Heights.
You look at the dedication and seriousness on this Heights boy's face, Mike, and he plays with such intense desire. He's just one of those young men that he's a fellowship Christian athlete member, and believe me, folks, he lives it every day of every week.
And he hates Cosell.
Oh.
Tommy Heights can't stand Howard Cosell. Okay, here we go. Here's Roger Harden on the baseline. Double teamed in there, and we've got Brett Baer for the stuff. Brett Baer. Here's James Blackman down the other way now. Just 40-38. The blue team has got the lead. And here's one of the new guys, and he puts it up and in. That is
see it fail when the walk-ons come in and shoot one for one.
That's Mike Galloway, a freshman, or rather a junior from Henderson, Kentucky. Paul Andrews. Tracked out there by Master. Down it goes to Brett Baer. Here's the big man, puts it up and in.
Now you see the effectiveness of Barrett, where he can move outside and play the forward position, or move inside and play the pivot for you, and he's doing a fine job in there against Big Turpin. Of course, they're holding a little bit in there, I believe, Mike.
No, George, they wouldn't do that. That's 14 points for Brett Baer. Here's James Blackman down deep. Nice shot by James Blackman. 6 for James. Minute 26 to go. Into the ball game also is Mike Lucier and also Johnny Baker. The three young men who walked on this fall. Ball knocked away. It'll be taken, and the outlet pass comes to James Blackman. He just rolls it up and in. 8 points for Blackman at the 105 mark at 44-42 now. Here's Baer up again. If he gets this one, I'll go bananas. He does.
High off the glass, and this shows you the agility of a lot of these big boys and using that glass even from outside, Mike.
Brett Baer has simply been tremendous. 44-44 now is the score, and that is the 8th tie of the night. Here's Baxter to fill it up from outside, but he cannot do it. McKinley with the rebound. The outlet comes to Harden. Harden down to Baker. Baker puts it up on the baseline, no good. Baxter with the rebound. At 35 seconds, and James, you can't do that. Eight ties tonight, George.
Well, maybe Joe Hall's trying to get rid of some of that Big Mac stuff on Turpin because he's been in all night. I haven't given him a rest yet.
Here's Brett Baer. Back to McKinley. Comes around a pick, and back it comes to Harden, but he walks with the basketball. And on the turnover for 27 seconds, the Whites got a chance to go out on top at halftime.
That is the shuffle, as you know it.
Yep, used to be the Auburn shuffle, I think, wasn't it? I'm sure you saw that many times.
Did we? Many times with old Joel Eves when coaching at Auburn University and later at the University of Georgia.
James Blackman, a man that Al McGuire once said that could also almost be a carbon copy of Isaiah Thomas. He's wearing the number 10 now, inheriting Dirk Minifield's number.
Well, I know this. Bobby Knight wanted him to stay up there and wear the red and white of Indiana, but he left to come down to the blue country.
There's Jimmy Master, and he's got it with 2 seconds to go. And the Whites have got a 46-44 halftime lead. And with that, we'll have Joe B. Hall on at halftime. Do not go away. It has been a great first half. We'll have more after you see this.
Stevens Lumber has been Ashland's source for quality building products for over 35 years. In the same location since 1948, Stevens Lumber has a reputation built on honesty and service. Offering new home construction, remodeling, and free estimates, Stevens Lumber features Anderson wood windows, Rollison aluminum windows, roofing, insulation, and everything for your home needs. You can have quality for less. Call Stevens Lumber, 3655 Winchester Avenue in Ashland.
Be good to yourself. Take some worry out of your day. Ashland Office Supply is always there with office furniture, business machines, printing needs, and a complete line of Canon copiers, the nation's #1 selling copier. Just call Ashland Office Supply. One of their sales staff will be happy to show you the copier that's just right for you. Remember, for that extra pair of hands, it's always Ashland Office Supply Incorporated in the Southland Plaza at 2100 29th Street.
UK Wildcat Sports on radio. Catch every exciting Big Blue game on WLGC at 105.5 FM. WLGC carries each Wildcat game with never a delay, never a game preempted. UK fans know that they can tune 105.5 FM for Kaywood Ledford and all the play-by-play action live. At WLGC, we're true blue to Big Blue. Join us for UK Sports on WLGC Super Sports.
We're back here at Summit Junior High School, the blue-white game at halftime. It is 46-44. And, George, here we go. We've got a man here I think we know.
Well, let's welcome and show our fans now. We just put him in the Hall of Fame. We put it right on him. With the WTSF sign, bringing him back into life. But Joe, when did I get my check, George? Well, here's a man that made us a check, and we'll get right in to send it right out to you, Joe. Listen, first scrimmage out public like this, what do you feel?
I feel good about the scrimmage. We're having to stop once in a while, let them rest. But I've been impressed with Barrett's play. Really has played well offensively. And Sam, his ability to score is much greater than I thought it would be, and more than it has been in the practices. But our freshmen have played well. They have been settled, and that was encouraging. Our shooting was good. We ran our offense crisp. Our defense has been aggressive. And I've seen a lot of bright spots. Of course, a lot of loose ends, and that's to be expected.
Well, those are the turnovers, Joe. I know you don't want to see those coming up after the first. But let's say right here quickly, I think that everybody sitting here on the edge of their seat, more or less, as we popped you with a question last week or 2 weeks ago when we talked with you, and that was the fact that is Bowie's leg all right? Is Beal's knee all right? Is Barrett over the mono? And the freshman Andrews, I think right now, has made a hit with these fans, Joe.
I tell you, Paul has the ability to score, George. He's going to pick up that loose ball around the basket. He's hit his jump shot good, and we like the way that he's coming along.
Well, he's definitely going to help you. And just hurriedly explain to our fans what I meant by a numbers game with you now, Joe.
Well, the numbers game is important to us, and with only 12 squad members, we've got to have some players that are going to carry us through a long season, and they've got to be in shape.
Coach Joe B. Hall, our thanks, and certainly the best of luck to you on the coming year, and the best to you and the Bluegrass Wildcat.
Thanks to these people that came out to give us a boost tonight, George.
All right, and that's it, fans. Coach Joe Hall giving us the time and effort, and certainly the best of luck to Joe. All right, let's take a break right now. We'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second half in a 46-44 game.
The people at Snyder's Potato Chips have renewed an old chip challenge, and today we're going out to find just what America's foremost authorities have to say. Taster number 1. Taster number 2. Taster number 3. Okay, kids, which chip has no aftertaste?
Snyder's!
Which chip makes you want to reach for more?
Snyder's!
Accept the Snyder's challenge and taste the difference for yourself.
Fall is a special time for Cardinal Cleaners. Cardinal Cleaners features Sanitone dry cleaning to restore bright, lustrous color to sweaters, suits, and dresses. Care for your drapes with Adjust-A-Drape to ensure perfect sizing and decorator folds. Try any of Cardinal Cleaners' 5 locations: 12th and Central Avenue, 29th Street, Route 5 in Bellefonte, Argolite Road in Flatwoods, with a drive-through location on Central Avenue. For pickup and delivery, call Cardinal Cleaners. Make fall sparkle for you and your home.
You may not have been expecting it, but here it is. An American revolution has hit the streets of your city. Here, now, Dodge Daytona and Daytona Turbo. 2 totally new and totally American sports cars. Fast, slippery, sexy, and backed by 550 protection. See them before the one you want is gone.
We are Dodge, an American revolution.
Griffith Moore Dodge, 1041 Greenup Avenue, Ashland.
Mike Todd, George Conley on hand, and George, it was good to talk to Joe B. one more time.
Well, it certainly was, and Joe giving the inside info on what he expects out here and what he's looking forward in finding out what these men are up to as far as scrimmage sessions are concerned.
Well, we're starting the second half now. The blue team gets the ball on the alternate possession rule, and here we go with Brett Barrett driving the baseline. Brett's got a hot hand. He's still hot.
Well, Brett Barrett certainly had a fine first half. He had an overall shooting for the first half of 8 for 11 and a total of 17 points, so he's going to show these people a lot of good basketball.
There's a traveling violation on James Blackman.
That's that reverse Lebanon pivot.
Yeah. They're starting the same lineups that we began the ball game with. It'll be Bowie, Barrett, Heights, Harden, and McKinley, and Andrews, or rather Andrews in there for McKinley. Here's the floater into Big Sam. He tries to put it up and in on a power move. Cannot do it. It's blocked out of there. And here we go with Andrews. Andrews drives. What a move he put on Harden. And we may have a goaltending.
Goaltending on Sam.
Blackman gets another basket. That's
Big
his
Bowie
10th.
kind of laughing at Blackman on that one.
It'll be
Young man, what are you doing coming toward this tall timber?
It'll be Winston Bennett, Kenny Walker, Melvin Turpin, Master, and there's a float inside. It's going to be to Bowie. He puts it up hard off the glass. Not good, and the outlet pass comes this time down to Blackman. Down the way we go to the baseline to Bennett, inside to Turpin. Turp puts it up, and he wants to stuff it in.
3 dribbles.
Too many Big Macs.
Well, you saw Melvin how he used to punch his finger in the air toward Dirk Minifield last year. He was giving the air shot, wanting to slam dunk from up in the air and hang one in for these people.
The Master and Blackwood are the guards now for the white team, as we started to say a moment ago. Here is down low to Barrett. He's got the hot hand. This time it's going to be an air ball. Turp gets it. And out we come at 18:49 to 48-46 ball game. Master puts it up, and it's going to be good. He's fouled by Andrews.
Goal and draws the foul, and that's when you got the chance to draw the three-point play and certainly can make it much more effective.
We've had 8 ties in the basketball game, and it is 50-46. The white team out on top now. Jimmy Master, what a free throw shooter he is, leading the team in that percentage at 86.4.
I think he copies Kyle Macy a lot in his free throw shooting.
When he first came to the university, a lot of people compared him to a look-alike to Kyle.
And now a shooter-like.
Yes, sir. That's the important thing. Master's got nothing but net. And the three-point play is good.
Well, basketball, like baseball, Mike, a lot of kids forget you play it with your legs as well as your hands and arms, you know.
Yes, sir. 18:36 to go in the basketball game. Here is Paul Andrews. Boy, Master's playing tough out there. Here's Harden. Shoots it out on the wing to Andrews. He's got the basket.
Well, that's the shooting ability that Joe Hall was talking about at halftime that Paul Andrews can exhibit, and he certainly is a fine shooter.
Well, I'll tell you, he's one of these pure shooters, George, like you're
well, right
talking
now
about.
he was 4 for 7 to the half, so he's now 4 for 8 or 5 for 8.
Out to Master. Master down low, and here's a bad shot by Turpin. And here's a loose ball picked up by Paul Andrews, and it's up and in. Andrews can play. 12 points for Paul Andrews.
Well, that's another of the things that Joe Hall also mentioned at halftime was that Andrews would pick up those loose balls for you.
It is 51-50 now.
The white team still leads by a slim point. Here's Winston Bennett driving and has it knocked away by Barrett. Gets the loose ball, and I think we've got a traveling violation.
I'd hate to be Bennett's shape and get in there and raise up and look at Sam Bowie on one side and Rupp on the other side.
You know, we were talking about Paul Andrews, George. I'm very impressed with the confidence that he has. There's a big crowd here, almost 6,000 people, and first really scrimmage type that he's had to
steal
look
by
at.
Big Turpin, and on the fast break, here goes Blackman over to Master.
Master's got it. Yeah, and he does.
That's the shooting that Kentucky likes to see. That's a true shooting guard of Kentucky.
17 points for Jim Master to 53-50. The Whites go back out on top, 17-25 to go in the ball game. Here's Roger Harden, back to Barrett. Barrett looks inside, comes top of the key, laterally down on the wing it goes to Andrews. Andrews looks inside, floats it back out, and I think we've got a foul on Blackman.
Darden on the backdoor play, and Blackman getting hung out in the air again, and there you see the coaches talking to this freshman a little bit.
James Blackman from Marion, Indiana. Very good crowd on hand here tonight as you look at Paul Andrews. Puts the ball in play just in time, and Sam Bowie hugs it and gives it back to playmaker Roger Harden. Here we go, down low off of the shin, which we should, that's a bad word.
That's a sore shin.
Yeah, that's the one that's sore.
Yeah.
It goes out of bounds, and here come the Whites again. They lead it now, 53-50. There's Melvin wanting to shoot, fires it back out, back we go, and Barrett may have the personal foul.
That's what you call power basketball right there. There's no finesse, anything like that, Mike. That's just brute strength. Take it and go to the basket, put it in, or draw the foul.
Third personal foul on Brett Barrett with 16:50 to go.
Turpin at the line.
Melvin Turpin at the line now, 68% free throw shooter. 11.1 his average in 1982-83. Big Melvin has 7 points, make it 8.
And he is big.
Yeah, I know. I stood next to him.
There you see the cheerleaders from the University of Kentucky along the sideline putting on a fine halftime exhibit here.
Brad really enjoyed their routine. Here's Melvin's shot. It's going to be good. 9 points for Melvin Turpin. 16:50 to go in the basketball game. 55-50. Whites out on top. Roger Harden. Nice pass inside, and Paul Andrews is there. Has it stolen away by Master. Here come the Whites, 4-on-1. And nice play by Turpin, gets the assist for Master.
That's the play we were talking about a while ago that Big Turpin looks for all the time. And as you can see, Melvin going up and down that floor, he has returned some of that speed and a loss of a lot of that weight.
Here's Tommy Heiss looking for help. Almost stolen by Turpin, and Sam Bowie fires it out on the... and a tip up in by Kenny Walker.
Sam Bowie playing the middle man, the point guard, and bringing the ball down the fast break a while ago. I don't know what else he's going to do, Mike.
The Whites go out by 5 now, 57-52. Here's Kenny Walker. Little 10-foot jumper. It's going to roll out of there. Barrett with the rebound. And here come the Blues again. Trailing by 5. Here's Andrews from the wing. He's got it again.
Paul Andrews, Laurel County High School, London, Kentucky, showing you why his team won the state championship a couple of years ago.
And you'll bet North Hardin will remember that for a while.
Oh.
57-54. The lead now is cut to 3. Here's Kenny Walker. Drives, and he's going to be fouled in there by Brett Barrett again. That's Barrett's 4th.
I don't think we're going to keep record on fouls as far as fouling out anyone, Mike. There you see a young man who's a great Kentucky fan. Look at that blue head. Hi, fella. That's what it's all about, Mike.
And what idols they have right here. 15-35, 57-54 is the score. Kenny Walker down at the line. He has 12 points of the night. His high game last year, George, was 23.
Well, Kenny Walker's going to see a lot of those nights, I think, this year.
Walker has 13. He'll try to make it 14 down. The lead now is 4. And let's make it remaining that. As they get the ball back, this is what you don't like to see if you're a coach. Here's a ball that Master goes high to get the rebound and puts it up. Bowie rejects it. Nice block by Sam Bowie. And here's Melvin.
Body's off the floor.
Melvin said, I'm going to go one way or the other, and he did.
Well, there were bodies all over the floor like stacking up cordwood, and the fans got right a kick out of it. Big Turpin going through getting the slam dunk after it was all over.
Here it is, George. Look at that.
There's the play by Master. There's the block by Bowie.
What's that?
There the bodies start falling. There's Turpin slamming it in.
I think the centers and forwards in the SEC best beware of that. That's an omen of things to come. All righty, here we go now. This is Tommy Heights. They'll put a little press on here. Everybody backs off. It's Harden with 15 and 16 to go. Blues trail by 4. Down we go low to Bowie, and he's got it. Nice soft touch. 17 for Sam Bowie. 58 to 56. This is exactly what the fans wanted to see. A good type offensive play. Here's Blackman. Down low to Melvin, and he's going to have it knocked away by Bowie and out of bounds. Well, you see the crowd here. There is a capacity crowd here at Summit Gym. The last time I saw this, George, was in the regional tournament a few years back.
Oh, that's true.
Here's Bowie. Hands it back off to Harden now. The Blues trail by 2. They need a basket right here to tie it up. Here's Bepp on the baseline, and he overshoots it, and it'll be taken by Harden. Here's a 3-on-2, and the ball's still loose. They're playing hard.
They're playing real hard.
There's Bepp again. It's got to be no good. Foul somewhere. I think it's going to be on Winston Bennett.
Now, there's some contact out here on this game tonight, Mike, and I tell you, these boys are serious about who's going to start.
Winston Bennett's idol in the NBA, George, is Moses Malone.
Oh, well, you can understand that. That's a pretty good idol.
58-56.
I'd just like to be making the money he's making.
Moses will make it.
I got a kick out of Bird's contract, which we'll go into a little bit more. Pick it up, man.
Okay, here's Bepp. 8-footer from the baseline, no good. Heights with a rebound. Was going to put it right back up and over, and it's going to fall out of there. Still tipped up, and Kenny Walker with a rebound. Here come the Cats the other way, the Wildcats. Blackman with a 10-footer. It's going to roll out of there, and nice stuff by Kenny Walker. Up and in, and Kenny now has his 15th point.
I got a kick out of him when I told him I'd heard about the Walker playing in Georgia, and he said that was Herschel Walker.
He's the other Walker. I'm the other one. Here's Andrews. In there. Boy, Andrews has got a hot hand. 16 points for Paul Andrews. 60 to 58. Winston Bennett. Bennett down to Blackman. Blackman guarded by Harden now. Down low we go to Melvin, and he's going to put it up. Nice. Oh, what a block by Bowie. Another block by Andrews. Well, they got a little bit of a wrist, but what a block by Bowie.
Carry on with that story a while ago, Mike, about Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics. Now, fans, if you think basketball doesn't pay off today, all Larry Bird receives per game average is $25,000 per game.
That's a little bit, a little bit more than you and I make.
That's a little more than we'll make together here tonight. That's true.
Personal foul was on Andrews, and we'll be back with further play here at the Blue-White game right after you see this.
It's microwave madness this week at Big Sandy as we clobber two of the consumer's biggest enemies, price and payment. Price is destroyed with this Hot Point full-size dual-wave microwave for only $248, and this Hot Point touch control microwave for only $299. Payments are easy as Big Sandy will give you no payment or same as cash by February of 1984. Now, I know it's crazy to give great deals like this, but after all, I've got a reputation to live up to.
Don't miss Big Sandy's Microwave Madness, now going on in Ashland, Cold Grove, Chesapeake, and Portsmouth.
People helping people grow. Good friends you know you can count on. Neighbors that really care about each other. These have all been a way of life for people in the tri-state area and the foundation for our future. Klein Brick Company has been the Ashland area's foundation for brick and block supplies since 1926. So when you think of building or remodeling, think of the people you've come to depend on for years. Klein Brick Company.
60 to 58, the Whites are out on top, George. Is the game going about the way you thought it would?
Oh, I think so. These scrimmage sessions point up, of course, the keenness of competition, first of all. It shows you what kind of players that you have overall, but it doesn't get down to the team play as yet. You see there, Jim Hatfield, Bill Kiteley was the other gentleman standing there with his hands on his hip. He's the equipment manager. And I tell you what, Mike, they used to have an old man down there when Larry was playing at the University of Kentucky by the name of George Huckel. And believe me, when Mr. Huckel ran the equipment room, it was run.
17 points for Jim Master tonight. 7 field goals and 3 for 3 at the line. Jimmy Master, who averaged 11 points a game last year, 29 was his high game. 3 for 3 at the line, takes a lot of time and concentration and nothing but net.
Boy, they love to see this young man go to the free throw line late in those games during regular season play, Mike, because that's where they get the basketball, hoping he'll get fouled and get on that free throw line.
61-58, Master eyes the basket, and the ball is up and good.
That's what Adolph used to say, you know. He says, son, that's why they call it a free toss. It's a gift. Take it.
Yes,
you got to make those.
Yes, sir, with a big bow ribbon around it. Here's Heights, floats it into Turpin, but it's going to be knocked away, and looks like the Blues are going to have it out of bounds.
Jimmy Masters 5 for 5 from the free throw line, so he's got his keen eye on that free throw shooting again.
Here's Andrews with the basketball, drives on Master, floats it back out to Heights. Heights back it is to Harden. Harden, nothing but iron, and knocked back in bounds by Sam Bowie. A nice play. Andrews, down low we go to Big Brett, and Brett's got a nice jump shot. Rims out of there, Heights with the basketball.
Boy, that Heights is a worker.
Boy, he plays hard. You see him, that's where he usually plays on the floor.
Yes, yes.
Tommy Heights got a great philosophy about the game, and I think he said his best experience in college basketball was a flak jacket at OSU. Remember that?
Yes.
They wouldn't let him wear it. And he says he'll never forget that. He likes Keith Jackson as a sports announcer. He thinks he's tremendous. Here's Paul Andrews. And the alley-oop is no good. And you see Andrews with, Andrews with it. Can't get it inside. And decides to put it up, and it will be white basketball.
Andrews, I don't blame him much. I think he was hammered just a little bit that trip, Mike. He kind of laughing around there.
You look at Jimmy Master, inbounds the ball now to Dickie Beagle from Covington. All the speed in the world. They were comparing him to Dwight Anderson when he came to the University of Speed.
Well, if he's up to par, I tell you what, nobody in the world one-on-one is going to take that ball away from him coming up the floor, I don't believe.
Here we go. Melvin trying to get the ball. That was down low to him, but it went out of bounds, as you saw. 62-58. And here's a replay.
There again. Andrews up. I believe Big Turp got him just a little bit on the backside.
Tommy Heights, guarded closely by Kenny Walker. Down we go to Sam Bowie, but it's knocked out of there by Heights again, a 2-on-3. And Beal puts it up and rims out of there. Tapped up once, twice. Walker with the rebound and off of the glass and good.
Good rebound. Walker hands in midair from right to the left and bringing that ball in.
The 6'8" sophomore, Kenny Walker, 17 for the game now. 64-58. Here's Paul Andrews, down low to Bowie, has it knocked away by Turpin again. The outlet pass, here we go. Master and Harden one-on-one, pulls up, bangs it, no good. Harden with the rebound. And here we've got, look at this, a 2-on-2. Heights down low to Bowie, and bam, it is in there.
That brings everyone in the stands up to the...
19 points for Sam Bowie. Sam is back.
Sam is back and looks like in good shape.
Dickie Beal at 11:06 to go. There's a steal. Almost stolen, but Dick's going to get called for a foul, I think. Dickie Beal, and here's the replay.
There's Big Slam over the slam dunker. Troy McKinley back in, the young man from up in Simon Kenton High School in Covington, Kentucky.
Sam takes a rest now. Paul Andrews has really played a lot of basketball tonight. I don't think a lot of people expected him to come out and play like he had.
Well, this answers a lot of questions that you and I have been trying to answer for them, too.
Here's Barrett with a shot. Looks like it may be a foul in there. You look at the scoreboard, 64-60.
Foul on 25, Winston Bennett, Louisville male product out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Second personal foul on Winston, and he has 7 points in the ball game. $10:51 to go. Paul Andrews. Back to Troy McKinley. He's got a good angle from out there, but this time it is no good. There's Kenny Walker. Back to Beal.
Turpin had dreams of leading a fast break the way Bowie did a while ago.
Here's Winston Bennett. Pulls back out. Down low we go to Melvin. Nice. Oh, look at this. You talk about this Bennett with the rebound. They're playing 110%, George.
Well, I'll tell you, it looks like the rebounding strength is going to be all right at the University of Kentucky.
66-60. Here's Tommy Heights. Puts it up on the glass, but Melvin's got him on the arm. Third personal on Melvin.
Foul is on number 54, Turpin.
Turpin commits the foul at 10:15. It is 66-60. The Whites out on top. Tommy Heights will be at the line now. Tom Heights has not scored in tonight's contest.
He's been on the floor half the time. I mean, literally on the floor. There's Tom's first point of the game.
He's a young man that loves photography, George. It's his hobby, and he really loves to take pictures.
Well, he's a great fill-in player for both Bowie and Turpin, and he knows what his role is, and this is what he does.
10-12, 66-61. There's Beal on the wing. It goes to Master. He's dead there, but he misses this time, and it is Barrett with the rebound. At 10:05, here comes Harden.
Batted away with the quick hands of Dickie Beal.
Beal, nice pass to Turpin. Turpin puts it up on a stuff, and he's going to walk with the basketball. Brett Barrett has been all over Turpin all night. He's really done a job on it.
I tell you, they've had some battle out there now, Mike. It's not one of these friendly hello there.
Yeah, I know. Boy, Barrett is a competitor.
Yes, he is.
I'll tell you. He loves it. And the fans are loving him tonight. 9:47 to go. Troy McKinley. Here's Brett Barrett. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds.
Pulled away by Blackman.
9:39 to go. Andrews cannot get it in. It's banged out of bounds by a leg. No one's leaving, George.
No, they're enjoying this, sir.
Andrews looks inside. There's going to be a Heights. Heights puts it up and in. Tommy Heights gets his first field goal, his third point of the night, to make it 66-63. 9:29 in the ball game left, and foul I think going to be called on Brett Barrett, if I'm not mistaken. George, we're going to find out if we're going to let him play or not. That's his fifth personal foul.
Oh, he'll be playing as long as he wants, but as far as I'm concerned right now, I think he had a great first half, but I actually believe that Brett Barrett is getting a little tired, and that bout with mononucleosis took a lot out of him, you know, before the season started. So they're quite concerned about this.
9:25 to go. We'll be back with further play here right after you see this.
In the past, when you bought insurance, you had to buy one policy for your home, one for your car, and another for personal liability. And you had to buy whatever was available. Putnam Agency has a simpler way. It's called a personal package policy. This one policy can be tailor-made just for you. It can cover your home, car, liability, even your silverware and jewelry. If you want your personal insurance tailor-made, call the Putnam Agency. Then you'll see why Putnam means insurance.
Are you bored? Tired of just sitting around? Do you feel like your life is a dead-end street with no direction? Maybe you're in a rut and need a lift. The Ashland area JCs can fulfill those needs and give you that needed lift. The JCs are a leadership training organization that gives you the opportunity to become involved in your community. Whether you're interested in personal growth or civic involvement, the Ashland area JCs can help direct you in living a richer, more productive life. Join a winning team. Contact the JC today.
Here's Roger Harden with the basketball at 66-63 ball game. And the Whites retain the lead, and the Blue trying to cut it down. I need the basket real bad right here. Here's McKinley. Down low it goes. Turp plays great defense in there. There's Master with the basket.
On the quick breakaway basket, Jim Master has good speed.
That's his 21st point of the night. Brett Barrett, guarded by Winston Bennett. Down low we go to Heights, off of his chest, and Tommy puts it up and in anyhow.
Well, he barreled that one in right over big Melvin Turpin under there, and that's some kind of defense when you go around him.
Tom Heights, 5th point of the night, with 8:34 to go in the basketball game. What a crowd we have here at Summit Gym. Blue-white game. We'd like to, of course, thank the JCs for their good work, Bill Daniels and Mr. Fazell, who worked very hard to get this thing going. Here we go with Andrews. On the wing it is to Harden. Harden wants to shoot, goes down low to Heights, and he has it stolen away.
Heights on the floor again.
Tom can't believe it.
Tommy has played as much on his knees as he has on his feet, I believe, tonight.
He's going to have to get some knee pads.
Timeout.
We'll have a timeout now, 68-65. The Whites are out on top. We'll be back with further play right after you see this.
Day. Ashland Office Supply is always there with office furniture, business machines, printing needs, and a complete line of Canon copiers, the nation's #1 selling copier. Just call Ashland Office Supply. One of their sales staff will be happy to show you the copier that's just right for you. Remember, for that extra pair of hands, it's always Ashland Office Supply Incorporated in the Southland Plaza at 2100 29th Street.
You may not have been expecting it, but here it is. An American revolution has hit the streets of your city.
Dodge, an American revolution.
Here, now, Dodge Daytona and Daytona Turbo. Coming soon, Dodge Caravan. But come see, feel, and drive the 84 Dodges for yourself and discover what American revolutions are made of.
We are Dodge, an American revolution.
Griffith Moore Dodge, 1041 Greenup Avenue, Ashland. Yes, Ashland now has a public auto auction. Every Saturday you can have over 100 units to choose from and buy at auction prices. If you haven't been able to sell your car, bring it to Ashland Auto Auction. You may reserve the highest bid, and if it doesn't bring what you want, you don't have to sell. Get your money the same day. Pick up the phone and call 324-1933 for all the details. Don't forget, every Saturday at noon, buy and sell cars, boats, campers, and cycles. That's at Ashland Auto Auction, located on US 23 Russell Road, across from Hex.
Back we go. Mike Todd, George Conley on hand from Summit Junior High. George, it's been a dandy.
Well, it's been a fine show for the people of this area, of course, to see the 1983-84 edition of the Kentucky Wildcats and Coach Joe B. Hall, his staff, and they have put on a fine show here tonight.
What a great way to bring the entire family on a November rainy night out to Summit and just see the Wildcats play. If you stayed home, you missed a dandy. I'll tell you that right now. 8:03, 68-65 is the score. The Whites are out on top. Here's Master looking inside to Turpin. Turpin on the turnaround jumper from 8 foot, nothing but net.
Well, with Sam Bowie and all 7-1 stretched out, you've got to shoot that ball about 15 feet high to get it over that outstretched arm of his.
13 now for Melvin at 7:46 to go. It is now 70-65 ball game. Here's Tommy Heights working hard inside. And has it blocked away. He'll try it again on a hook shot. He's going to be battered in there, I think, by Melvin. No, they call him for steps, I think.
He stepped out of bounds on that end line down there.
A lot of crowd down there. Well, Tom works hard in there. I'll tell you what, in a hotly contested game in the latter part of the ball game, started to say third quarter, but in the latter part of the ball game, he can really mix it up for you.
Well, he'll give you that effort, Mike. You can bet that.
Here's Dickie Beal driving on Harden. It's got it. Dickie Beal, very competitive and gets his first two of the night. 72-65, a 7-point spread for the Whites. Here's McKinley on the wing to Andrews. Inside it is to Bowie.
And folks, there again, that's what they refer to as a high percentage shot.
Yes, sir, right inside. 21 now for Sam Bowie. I can't wait to hear Al McGuire talk about Sam Bowie this winter.
Oh, it's going to be something.
He calls them aircraft carriers. All right, here's Master. Inside looking is Beal. Dickey decides to, nice pass. It would have been to Turpin, but it's off of Turp's hands and out of bounds.
Now there again, they ought to look upstairs for that alley-oop pass as you see the Kentucky cheerleaders on the sideline who have certainly put a lot of zest and activity into this game here tonight.
72-67, a 5-point lead. They need a basket right here to cut it down to 3 or even more than that with a 3-point play. Down low we go to Turpin, but knocked away by the Bowie, knocked away by Turpin, and here we go on this. Here's play by James Blackman and the assist. 12 for Blackman. 6:22 left in the basketball game, 74-67. There's Roger Harden driving down his, we say down Main Street, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. George, we haven't
Harden feels that Beal got him from the rear just a little bit on that.
We haven't had a 3-second violation tonight. So let's take a break right here. Further play will be back in a minute. 74-67 the score right after you see this.
UK Wildcat Sports on radio. Catch every exciting Big Blue game on WLGC at 105.5 FM. WLGC carries each Wildcat game with never a delay, never a game preempted. UK fans know that they can tune 105.5 FM for Kaywood Ledford and all the play-by-play action live. At WLGC, we're true blue to Big Blue. Join us for UK Sports on WLGC Super Sports.
Well, we're back now with 6:14 to go. George, we've got a few more minutes left. We've got some subs in the ball game. The walk-ons are back.
Well, I think definitely that Joe Hall found out a lot of the things that he wanted to find out here tonight. That is not only which players, but what combinations might work out in the future.
There's Bastard, no good. Rebounded now with Heights. Down to Andrews. Andrews double team. Shoots it back out to Roger Harden. Down low it is to Big Sam, and it's in there. Once you get it inside, it's all over.
Well, that's pretty hard for a 7-1 man to miss a 2-inch shot.
5:50 to go, 74-69. The lead now is 5. Here's Mike Lucier with the basketball with the walk-ons, and also to the ball game for the blue team is Johnny Baker, number 35, sophomore from Bowling Green. Paul Andrews out on the point with 74-69 the score. Here's Baker. Well, it's knocked away, and it'll be a loose ball taken by Blackman. There's Blackman, just drives right on Tommy Heights and puts it up and in.
He has excellent finger control of that basketball when he gets up in the air, too. You notice how softly he rolls that thing off, Mike.
He wasn't intimidated at all by Tommy Heights. He just went right in on him and got the basket. Here's Bowie at the high post, holds it high. Looks back to Harden now. Harden around the left of the key. Tommy Heights over to John Baker. Baker back to Harden. Blues now playing with 3 guards out there. Set it back up is Paul Andrews from Laurel County.
No disrespect to these walk-ons, Mike, but they just don't hardly look like the typical recruited athlete, do they?
No, not hardly. Well, the 2 big guys going together. They're going to call a charging foul on Bowie, I think.
Well, Big Turpin can hold his ground, I believe.
That's 4 on Bowie, but towards Academic, they're not really worrying about it. And I think we've got ourselves a timeout with 4:32 to go in the basketball game. 6-6 to score. Heights out on top. Back with that more after you see this.
There's going to be a lot to love this fall as Another Life catapults into its 3rd season with more action, romance, and intrigue than ever. Stories of broken hearts and broken vows, lives driven to the edge and deceit, saved only by a love that crosses all boundaries and shocks a tainted world by its power to heal and to restore. Make Another Life a part of your daily viewing.
Well, today we have a very unusual audience. Come on! It's raining men. All right, take it right. Being an individual, doing your job and helping others is the most important thing you can do. What are you waiting for?
While we have this break, we like to take this time down to thank collectively our sponsors, Ashland Auto Auction, Big Sandy and Furniture, Ashland Business Association, and Ashland Office Supply, George. They really come forth and supported this basketball game on TV.
Certainly very appreciative, and thank you very much, folks, because you've given a great show to a lot of local people who won't get a chance to see these boys play anymore other than on TV.
Also, we'd like to thank the Ashland JCs for the hard work and diligence they had. Mr. Faisal, I think it is, I'll be announcing him wrong, and Bill Daniels at TV 61. They've worked very hard to coordinate this and get it to be a reality, and finally it's here, and I think everybody here is going home happy.
If you get time, you see any JC member, just say, hey, thanks for a job well done.
And if you'd like to become a JC, we told Bill we'd mention this, if you're between 21 and 35, all you got to do is talk to Bill down at TV 61, Bill Daniels, and he'll line you right up. We're exhausted roosters, though. We
That's
can't do
right,
it.
and a great program they're starting too, Mike, on the high school level. They're starting a JC junior program.
And if you'd like to join that, I'm sure they can tell you about it. Bill Daniels at TV 61. All right, now we're back to go, 76-69. It is a 7-point lead for the white team, and it's been a good night of basketball for the people here in Eastern Kentucky. We came out to watch, over 6,000 strong, standing room only here at Summit Gym. Here's Winston Bennett. Back we go to down low it is to Melvin. Back out to James Blackman. What an addition to the team he's going to be. Winston Bennett here, the other great freshman. Here's James wearing number 10, Dirk Minifield's old number. James over in the baseline now. It's Melvin. He's double teamed by Heights and Bowie. Cross court pass to Master. He bombs it from 15. Got it.
The scoring pace has dropped off a little bit. This is just the fact that it's beginning to drag out toward the end right now, Mike. And a lot of people came out here hoping to see a 100-100 game, you know.
Right. 23 points for Jimmy Master. 78-69. Looks like the Whites might just win this one. They lead it by 9 now. Here's Paul Andrews to McKinley. McKinley looking for help. Back out on the point now to Harden. Harden down low it goes on the wing to Andrews. They've been in a man-to-man all night long. Here we go. It is to Harden. Back it is to Harden on the baseline. Just moving the ball around. Very patient right here, George. Killing the clock, though.
Good save by Harden there. Of course, they're moving around trying to get low to the big man, and there it is. Just a power move back over Barrett by Sam Bowie.
25 points for Sam Bowie. We'll be back with more further play in the blue-white game right after you see this.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. Yeah! Rolling, 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 rolling. Yeah! Rolling, rolling. Keep moving, moving, moving. Oh, they're disapproving. Keep them doggies moving, raw. Don't try to understand them. Just rope, throw, and random. Soon we'll be living high and wide.
Watch Clint Eastwood and Rawhide Monday through Friday.
Sam Bowie a moment ago just dropped in his 26th point with 3:13 to go. It is 78-72. Here's James Black with a Bennett over to Master. 3:04 left in the contest. And the ball going to be knocked out of bounds across the way. Some of the fans now, George, beginning to get to the car line.
Well, that weather-wise out there, I don't know whether it's still raining, but it's doing a pretty good job when we came in. And I tell you the one thing right now that Joe Hall is going to be talking to this team about, and that's the number of turnovers we've had, Mike.
Well, Brett Barrett fouled out of the blue lineup. Now he's into the white line. He's got 5 more fouls on this side to go. Here's Blackman from the baseline. Boy, he's a shooter.
As Adolph Rupp said one time, you know, said when they see me in that grave, part of it, the reason, turnovers.
16 points for James Blackman. 80-72 is the score. Blues down on the bottom now. They must come back with 8 points here with 2.5 minutes to go in the contest. Here's Tommy Heights. Back it comes to Andrews. Drives the lane. Feeds it off now. Intended for Bowie, but Barrett comes up with it. There's Winston Bennett. What a move this is. But the basket is no good. Here come the Blues one more time. Sam Bowie, what a move this is. Oh, no, good. Andrews has got it, but Bowie made the move of the day.
I tell you, Andrews has a sense and a feel for that basketball, Mike. You see, Joe Hall hit it right on the head at halftime. Wherever that ball is, that's where he's going to be.
18 points for Paul Andrews with 1:54 to go. There's a cross-court pass. Blackman has it from 20. No good. Rupp runs it down and saved into the seats across the way. Fans beginning to leave, but I think they're going home happy. I hope the JCs do it again next year.
I certainly do, and congratulations to you, fellas.
Here's McKinley's shot. Good. Troy McKinley gets his fourth point of the night, 6'6" junior. And we've got ourselves a timeout. And George, it's been a good ball game.
Well, it's been a fine ball game, and like I say, it's a kind of a feeling situation. This is the first open public scrimmage they've had, you know, Mike. They'll take a couple of more of these across state somewhere. I think they go to Hindman, Kentucky for one, and I think they go down West Kentucky to Hopkinsville for one. So they'll have those three inter-squad games prior to the opening against the Netherlands national team, and this is the team that represents the Netherlands in the Olympics. They were originally, as many of us can remember, the Russian national team was to have come in here, but these games were canceled because of that incident on the shooting down of that airplane over Korea.
Right. George, we'll be starting our high school basketball games very soon here on TV 61. We're going to make the rounds, I guess, throughout the three cities, Huntington, Ashland, and Ironton, and out in the counties, and I hope that the people try to stay with us and join us throughout the weeks to come, all the way through March, right here on TV 61. I think they're going to enjoy it.
Well, I wish we had more to tell our fans exactly what we're going to do, but we just have to wait a while and see what comes up. They're the big K standing for everything in Kentucky, and that has to be basketball.
They say bluegrass is king, and the Wildcats are one of the reasons why, no doubt about it. I'd like to thank this man right here, George. Randy
Stacy has done a fine job. He supplied us with all the information. He was a great help to us the other day when we were down there taping our show, and that young man right there has enjoyed this thing, let me tell you. Nice going, fella. Okay, you're a big blue man.
As you said, that's what it's all about. Minute 25 left in the contest. Here's Brett Barrett now wearing the white uniform. And down low we go to Bennett. And we got a foul inside.
Foul on Troy McKinley.
McKinley's second of the night. 80-76 is the score. The Whites are out on top. They can add to that with Winston Bennett at the line.
Well, Mike, we've seen some excellent matchups here tonight, especially with Bowie and Turpin going head and head in the middle. We've seen Bennett and Barrett going at it. We've seen Beal and Harden challenging Master and Blackman out here at the guard position. So we have seen some good matchups tonight.
We certainly have. Well, you see Winston Bennett getting into double figures, his 10th point of the night.
Again, we've been very impressed with the freshman from Laurel County, Paul Andrews.
Winston Bennett from Louisville, Kentucky. A lot of people thought he'd go to UL, but that was not to be. Second shot's no good, and out comes the Blues again. Here's Heights down on the baseline, double team by Bennett and Barrett over there. And here's Melvin knocking it away. James Blackman, watch this. Oh, what a move! James Blackman on a reverse layup. How about that, George?
Went up over Sam Bowie and then down under him and laid it back in. Now, fans, those are some of the moves that we told you James Blackman had. And you can see on this play right here how he goes right at Bowie, up, under, over. Now, this is the James Blackman that we've been describing to you, and you wait till you see him get a year under his belt.
I can't wait to hear Al McGuire talk about it.
He's going to be a great one.
Al McGuire, Billy Packer, those people are really going to go bananas when they see this guy play.
Well, he's a better guard than Billy Packer was, because I refereed when Billy Packer was playing at Wake Forest.
We're sorry, Bill, that you heard that. Here's Blackman, shot no good. And with the rebound, the Whites come back out with another opportunity now. 57 seconds left. Here's a bomb from 25 by Masters. And he's got it. And Jim's got 25. Here come the Blues. Troy McKinley. Back it is over to Paul Andrews. Andrews, Harden with a 19-footer. This is going to be no good. And then there, struck by Bowie. 28 points by the big man.
Well, Sam came to play, and he's shown the people, I believe, that I'm back here to stay.
Well, the play by Blackwood a moment ago, and Bowie stuffed. The people went to the car lot, missed it. I'll take it. Well, the Blues get it back the other way now. There's only 27 seconds left, 85-78. Looks like the Whites are going to win it. But it's here's a nice play by Turp. Inside it goes. We have a foul in there, and it's going to be to the man on the ground, Tommy Heights.
Winston Bennett fouled Tom Heights, and Heights again sitting on the floor on his posterior.
Look at this.
And that's where he has been. There's that big slam by Sam Bowie, and I tell you, fans, when you go up and tip that ball one hand, and you're tipping down, you're not tipping up.
20 seconds to go. At the line will be Tommy Heights. think we called a foul at him a moment ago, and it was not him.
Well, the hardest part of the basketball game, really and truly, and when I talk to officials, a lot like this, Mike, and that's the fact that the game is played so much above the rim of the basket. As you see Tom Heights there getting ready, I think Tommy's a little bit on the tired side right now. He won't have any problem sleeping on the way back to Lexington.
No, I'm sure of that. Tommy Heights. We talked about him as a member of the Christian Athletes, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Larry Bird's his idol. That's what an idol that is.
He had a brother that we've told you before played at West Virginia University who was just 7 feet tall. Tom's only about 6'10".
85-78, 19 seconds left in the ball game. Here's Blackman, the master. Master's no good, and Tough tries to put it up and in on the slam dunk, but no good. Here come the Blues with 9 seconds. Rupp with an intercepted pass. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this now. There it is. Turpin.
Well, that's the way it ended, Mike. That's the way they ended.
87-78. The Whites win it by 9, but I think there's no one going here home a loser.
Just a exhibition right here by the University of Kentucky Wildcats. I think that people can see they're going to have a contending team. As you saw Big Mel say, this is the way you dunk the basketball.
I'll tell you what, fans, we'll be back to wrap this big one up right after you see this. Don't go away.
Are they not all here? Well, Herr Commandant, I should say almost all are here.
Major Hofstadter, you won't believe this.
Try me!
I warn you, we have ways to make you talk.
Sir, you've been seeing too many war movies. Very well.
Hogan's here weeknights at 11:30 WTSF.
Mike Todd, George Conley on hand. Here, the first blue and white game in Eastern Kentucky, and at least in Boyd County for a long time. And George, it has been a huge success.
Well, Mike, and the people are lingering around as you see them milling about here at midcourt. And it's going to be an autograph session thing. As soon as the Wildcats get back into the dressing room and rest up a moment, they'll be right back to meet all these fans who came out here so dutifully to see them tonight. I think they've been well satisfied. Our congratulations and help from executive producer Ryan Nyan, our production manager John Fawcett, on camera Don Moore and William Daniels, our audio Josie Stevens, and our replay by Dave Lavender, graphics by Glavin, engineer our floor director Carol Pack. Our thanks and a big hearty good night to all those people, and continue wherever they mention Yogi Welton, Chris Wright, and all the staff at WTSF, how much we've enjoyed bringing this game to them.
They did a super job, and once again, the final score from Summit Gymnasium, it is 87-78. I think that's, George, before we wrap it up, let's quickly give you the final stats here, just one more time.
Well, we're going to try to get the total points. I think right now we can go back, Big Sam Bowie leading the team that he was playing with, and that was a total of 30 points. Brett Barup had a fine night. I think Paul Andrews had a great night. Masters had a good scoring night. So overall, scoring was well balanced, but it's one of those games that you wanted to see some individuals having. I saw those, Bowie, Turpin, Barup, Walker. I think you can see the fans say, well, we're going to have very, very good in the South.
And led from Paducah to Ashland, I'm sure excitement will reign supreme all the way throughout the Commonwealth, and tonight's going to be an indication of it's going to be great.
How about leading scorers on the teams, as we said, was Bowie with 30 on the white, and Master with 25. So that just about covers it, Mike. We've had a great night, and just again a great get-together for all the people here in Boyd County.
So for Mike Todd, George